Built on tradition and success, ECAC Hockey showcases the nation's most prestigious institutions and premier student athletes. For more on today's ECAC Hockey standouts, as well as the student athletes who contributed to the conference's great tradition, or to purchase apparel, check out the conference's official website at ecachockey.com. Once again, good evening and welcome to the Houston Fieldhouse for tonight's game between Colgate University and the Engineers of Rensselaer. Let's meet tonight's starting lineups. First for the visitors from Colgate University. In goal tonight, from North Vancouver, British Columbia, number 1 sophomore Charlie Finn. A defenseman from Quebec, from Montreal, Quebec, number 6 senior Spiro Goulakis. A defenseman from Marblehead, Massachusetts, number 11 sophomore Jake Kulovich. A forward from North Syracuse, New York, number 25 senior Joe Wilson. A forward from Calgary, Alberta, number 14 senior John Lidgett. And a forward from Buffalo, New York, number 10 sophomore Andrew Black. And the rest of the Raiders of Colgate. The head coach of the Raiders in his 22nd season is Don Vaughn. The assistant coach is Mike Harder. Fans, tonight's RPI starting lineup is brought to you by Dunkin' Donuts. Dunkin' Donuts' new dark roast blend features a bold start and a smooth finish, just like your Engineers. And now here are tonight's starting lineup for the Engineers. Leading your Engineers tonight is junior engineer Tyler Hasty. In goal tonight for the Engineers from Winnipeg, Manitoba, number 33 junior Jason Kasdorf. A defenseman from Williamsville, New York, number 24 junior Chris Bradley. A defenseman from Spruce Grove, Alberta, number 4 junior Craig Bokenfjord. A forward from Minising, Ontario, number 9 senior Matt Neal. A forward from Banska Petrica, Slovakia, number 17 junior Miloš Bobela. And a forward from Rockland, Ontario, number 15 senior Jacob LaLiberte. And the rest of the RPI Engineers. The head coach of the Engineers in his 9th season is Seth Appert. The assistant coaches are Brian Vines and Nolan Graham. Ladies and gentlemen, we ask that you please rise and remove your headwear for the playing of the national anthems of Canada and the United States.
And once again, you are listening to 91.5 FM WRPI Troy. Ed Darian along with Perry Lascaris on the call here for you from the Houston Fieldhouse in ECAC League play. Before we get started with the first period of play, we'd like to thank the Rensselaer Union, which provides the funding for WRPI and all club-related activity of the Institute, including WRPI's coverage of engineer hockey, football, and baseball. Also, we'd like to remind you, WRPI is on the World Wide Web. Point your browser to www.wrpi.org, and you can hear our broadcast 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. So long as WRPI is broadcasting, we provide the broadcast on our internet feed. Once again, it is www.wrpi.org.
Ready to drop the puck here, just about here at the Houston Fieldhouse. The Engineers taking on a Colgate team which has won 4 games in a row, dating back to December 29th and 30th. That means they've only played 2 games in the last 17 days. So not a lot of hockey for this team, which is trying to be a little healthier. They do have Tyler Spink back, who was hurt earlier in the season, making just his 6th appearance, 4 points, 2 goals, 2 assists for him. Of course, on that top line with his brother Tyson, the line the Engineers will have to deal with in tonight's game. Ready to go. 20 minutes on the clock, and we drop the puck here on period number 1. Engineers wearing their home whites, red and black trim as they dump it in deep into the far corner. It's Chris Bradley playing at far side, controlled by Kulovic for the Raiders. Nearly picked off there. In fact, it was Milos Bubello who stole the puck on the far side of the ice, threw it in front, but it's intercepted and carried back out to center. Now flipped into the RPI zone, chased down by Andrew Black. He'll hand it off there for Wilson. Joe Wilson, centering pass goes all the way through to the far side. Jacob LaLiberte plays it up the far wall, now to center ice. Shot right back in by Kulovic. Stopped up by Jason Kasdorf. Kasdorf 7 and 10 on the year. That goals against average much higher than we're used to. 274, a 910 save percentage for the junior, I should say, out of Winnipeg, Manitoba. As the RPI Engineers get it deep off the stick of Neal to avoid the icing. Picked up in the far corner. It's Tyson Spink. He'll go back behind his own goal with it. Spink down the middle of the ice. He'll move to the neutral zone. Engineers chase. It's Nanny. Got a piece of the dump in. Goes into the far corner. Tie up there. Prapavesis trying to work it around the far wall. It's played deep by the Raiders. Minute 10 into the first period. No score here between RPI and number 15 Colgate. Engineers sitting at 5 and 6. They're tied for 4th place in ECAC hockey play, although they have a few games in hand. We'll talk about that later. With the teams that are around them in the standings. So, of course, all the points you can get here at home, crucial. It's Tyler Spink along the far side boards, gave it away. Engineers trying to move it into the zone. And they're offside. Melanson a little bit slow. Schrader jumped the blue line.
18:29 left to play in the first. No score, RPI and Colgate, both teams still trying to feel each other out. And, I mentioned going on, the schedule doesn't get any easier for RPI as Colgate comes in with the 15th ranked in the country. It seems like they've played nothing but ranked teams thus far.
Face-off upcoming here, just outside the Colgate zone. Won by the by the Raiders. They'll move it up the near side wall. Into the RPI zone, it's Darcy Murphy, knocked off his stick, back out to center. Raiders shoot it right back in. Played to the far corner. RPI has his Wood, takes a big hit, make it DeVito rather, but does get it out to center for McGowan. He'll chip it into the far corner. Victor Liljegren throws a shoulder into his man. Kind of jumped the check that time was Corcoran. Now Liljegren, near point karate, a little bit of room, top of the circle, shot deflected, they score! McGowan may have gotten a piece. They surround Luke Karate. If it's Karate, it's his first of the year. And it was just a shot through a screen from the point. RPI has an early 1-0 lead.
Yeah, and it's important for RPI, the first goal of the game for RPI has been hard to come by this season. 17:52 left to play in the first. Now we'll see if they can keep their focus. And it did look like it got deflected a little bit out in front. But we'll see. Right now they're announcing the play is under review. So referee over talking to Seth Appert right now. And we'll see. So this looked like a good goal to me and to everybody in the field house. No students here as the students are still on break. So it might be a little bit quieter than what you're normally used to. But this play right now is under review as referee Brian Hicks is looking at the video replay. It's a pretty quick decision as he's already coming back out on the blue line, and it is no decision yet. It's a goal. It is a goal, as the other referee, Lynch, pointed as it was a goal. So 17:52 left to play in the first, 1-0 RPI.
Center ice draw. Engineers win it back. Riley Bourbonnais into the near side for Chris Bradley. Now cross ice pass. Thrown near side by Bokenfort. It was broken up. Wood will play it back to Bradley, and RPI will start things over in their own end. Bokenfort to center off of Bourbonnais. Intercepted, but losing an edge and falling down there was Gensler. Engineers will have to go back and get it in their own zone once more. Bradley, near side corner. Lost it in his skates. Takes a hit as the Raiders forecheck. And they tie it up along the near side wall. 1-0 RPI on potentially Luke Karati's first of the season. Now a shot from the point. Hits bodies in front. Hit Bokenfort on the try by Spiro Galakis. And the Engineers are able to carry out center ice. Wood gets it into the zone just ahead of Bourbonnais. Turned right back around by Colgate. Into the zone far side. It's worked in there by Derek Freeman, sophomore from Newburyport, Mass. He lost the puck on the hit. Engineers have it once more. Wood flipping up the ice into Raiders territory. They go D to D. Kevin Law, junior from Canada, Ontario, right back out to center, but shot right back in by Prapavesis. Charlie Finn stops it up there. He's having another solid season. 181 goals against, 933 save percentage for him. So not like him to give up an early goal there, but the Engineers got some pressure and got a shot towards the net with some screen in front of them, and they're able to capitalize. Now they work it down low, do the Raiders. In the corner, spinning around. It's Law. Now he turns it over. RPI moving out to center ice. Le Liberté, far side. Neal stays just onside as he toes the line. Engineers get it deep. They'll go behind the goal. Dragging away is Babella. Babella to the near corner. Near point for Leonard. Had a catch on the backhand. Wrists one towards goal. Got blocked. Kept in far point by Prapavesis. Now Bubella spins back to the top of the circle. Near point Leonard. Looking for the deflection in front. He got it from Niels off the base of the cage. Neal. He'll cycle down low for Le Liberté. Le Liberté once more for Neal. Back to the point Leonard. Holds it there. He'll flip it right back down low for Le Liberté. Lots of power play assists for Jacob Le Liberté this season. He's assisted on 5 of the team's 11 power play goals. Not on the power play here, of course. 15:46 left in the first period. Prapavesis keeps it in at the line, but the Raiders take over. Actually, no, the Rangers were offside. They need to touch up. That's why they backtrack out of the zone. Probably time for a change anyway. And RPI will get that shift change. So do the Raiders as they hold things up behind their own goal. Now they're ready to break out. Here comes Tyler Spink, junior from Williamstown, Ontario. As I mentioned, making just his 6th appearance. That puck skips underneath Karate, but he gets some help from some teammates there. Schrader off the glass, bounding down at center ice into the skates of Melanson. And now turning and firing it in deep is Bradley. Melanson will chase. Runs into Ryan Johnston. To the far corner they go. In comes Nenny. They collide with Melanson. And anytime Drew Nanny and Melanson get into a collision like that, or excuse me, Lou Nanny and Drew Melanson, you hold your breath just a bit. Those two of them had a few injury problems. Nice play at the blue line to keep it in Bradley. They work it around towards the near corner. First one to it is Johnston. Back behind the goal they go. Good pressure by RPI early on in the offensive zone. Heard Coach Appert talk about it in the pregame. Something the Engineers want to do is generate offense from the offensive zone. It sounds simple, but Engineers trying to do just that there. They got their first goal from an offensive possession. The puck worked back to the point. As now the Raiders do get it out. Back to RPI territory. Flipped off the glass by Karate all the way down. Galakis has it in his own end, spinning away from the check of Liljegren in the near circle. Now they work it ahead. Tipped in deep. It's deflected off the stick of Harrison and behind the RPI goal. It'll pop out in front, swatted away by the goalie stick of Kasdorf, who hasn't quite been tested yet. 6 minutes or so into period number 1 is 1-0 RPI over number 15 Colgate here at the Houston Fieldhouse. Liljegren, center ice of his own zone for DeVito. He'll fire it into the near corner. It'll come down off the glass. Liljegren firing on goal from a tight angle. Save made by Finn. Puck into the far corner. Trying to deal with it over there is Pinoic. And now near side, Harrison trying to chip it off the boards. He takes a hit. Now McGowan throws his body into Murphy. Engineers turn him over, and they get it deep again on the deflection deep by Liljegren. Picked up behind the goal, the captain, Spiro Galakis, senior from Montreal, Quebec. 13 points on the season for him, having another solid year at the blue line for this Raiders team. Now a shot coming from the top of the circle, blocked away. Trying to throw it back out in front. That was Gensler. Intercepted and carried back by the Engineers. Gillespie, a shot from way outside. Goes behind the goal. Taken out down low was Wood. Looks like they say just lost an edge there and went down, as he was tangled up a bit with one of the Colgate defensemen. Now Law in the near corner, playing it behind. Finds Corky. Corky up the wall. Stick handling in his own zone dangerously was Freeman, gave it away. Engineers have it far side. Bourbonnais, he lost it on the stick handle. Now trying to break out. Pass comes off a stick and now moved out to center ice. Karate goes after the puck. There was a man in front of his Freeman. And if Gensler could have found it, and Freeman went wide open, but Karate blocked off the pass. Back out to center ice goes the puck. Engineers give it away. Corcoran has it. He'll backtrack into his own end for the Raiders. 12:43 left first period. Shots are 2-0 RPI. The score is 1-0 Engineers. As they shoot it in to the Raiders from center ice. Sticked into the corner. Shot was headed wide anyway. Or puck was headed wide. Play by Kasdorf. And now the Engineers will try to break out. That pass just eludes Babella. Took his eye off it. That'll allow the Raiders to take over back again in their own zone. Johnston. Cross ice. Tipped in deep. Race for the puck. Bradley tries to get there. He ties up with Lidgett. Puck comes free to the far wall. La Liberté battles for it there. Bokenfour coming to help out. It's Joe Wilson, one of the assistant captains for the Raiders. He can't control. And RPI does have it. It's Milos Babella. Down the center of the ice, neutral zone. Crosses over center. Still Babella. Tried to feed it near side. Neal's offside. He touches the puck there. And we'll have a stoppage in play. 12:02 left first period. RPI holding Colgate to no shots so far.
Yeah, it was McGowan from Karate and Liljegren on that goal. So, as Perry mentioned, 2 shots on goal in favor of RPI, for none for Colgate on the scoreboard, 1 for RPI, no for Colgate. So 50% is a good scoring rate for the Engineers. 12:02 left to play in the first, 1-0 RPI.
Face-off coming just outside the Colgate zone. Tie up on the dot. Raiders come away with it. Golakos goes cross ice far side for Kulovic. His pass goes spinning off a skate at center. Golakos picks it up again and dumps it in. It'll come down off the dashboard. Around the near side boards, kept in by the Raiders. They work it down low. Hand off Tyler Spink in the far corner. Back to the point. Golakos' wrist shot was blocked by Nanny. Picked up by Melanson in his own zone. Tried to scoop it out to center. He was looking for Brabravestis, trying to jump into the play. Now the Raiders back the other way. Spink's play catch with the puck. They work it down low around the goal to the near corner. And now a whistle, and the net came off. I believe they'll say it was Kyle Baum who did it. Maybe not. Baum arguing that it was an Engineer. But we're going to have a whistle here. I believe it was for the net coming off, and it is.
Yeah, it was a brief 3-on-2 for the Raiders as they caught the Engineers out of position with the Spink twins coming down and Kyle Baum crashing the net. And the net did come off, but the face-off stays in the Engineer zone. 11:29 left to play in the first. 1-0 RPI.
Drop the puck here near side of the RPI zone. It's Leonard who picks it up. They'll spin behind the goal and turn back towards the near circle. Colgate backs off just a bit on the forecheck. This will be Leonard. Stick handling through one of his own teammates. He'll work it back into his own zone again. He had no one to pass it to. Now hand it off near side for Pravavesis. Touch pass ahead for Schrader. RPI speed line out there with Schrader, Melanson, and Nanny. Schrader took a hit but got the puck deep. Here's Corky. Knocked away from him by Melanson. Melanson for Schrader, down low for Nanny. They're all in the near corner. It'll be carried out far side by Law. Law behind the goal. Turns away from the on-rushing Melanson. He'll work it up to the neutral zone. Far side, crosses the red line, dumps it in. Comes off the back wall, picked up by Karate. He'll help it to the far corner for Wilson. Jared Wilson for RPI shoots it off a skate, hit off Schrader, and sent back into the RPI zone along the far boards. Avoiding the hit was Tyson Spink. Spun away from Karate's attempted check. Gets back on the puck. Now it's Bond. Near side Johnston makes a move around Melanson. Melanson sticks with it. Lifts the stick. Trying to peel the puck away. Couldn't do so. Help from Jared Wilson does the job. Back to the near corner. The puck goes. RPI zone. Schrader plays catch there with Karate. And Karate's second attempt goes by Schrader. Kept into the near point by Bond. Bond to the near circle. Turning with it is Tyson Spink. Drop pass Bond. High slot. Wrist shot. Shoulder save by Kasdorf. Puck pops to the far corner. Now it's Tyson Spink once more near corner. Back to the point. Johnston. Good pressure here for Colgate here. Down a goal as they work it down low for Bond. To the far corner it goes for Tyler Spink. Back down low for Bond. They cycle to the near corner. And now back to the point. Past Johnson, who had moved towards center ice, blue line area. And the pass was to the point from Spink. It goes all the way down the ice. Engineers catch a bit of a break there as the Raiders were threatening. Back comes Colgate now near side. Gensler had to throw it past one man. Intercepted by Leonard. And offside are the Raiders. They'll touch up here as the puck goes deep into RPI territory. Picked up by Mike Prapavesis. Prapavesis stick handling through center. Took a hit but got it as far as the Colgate line. Shot quickly back the other way. All the way to Leonard, who will pick things up in the middle of his own zone. Near side center ice touched in deep by Liljegren. It'll be stopped behind the goal by Charlie Finn. Finn leaves it there. Some pressure from Gillespie, who got in there pretty quickly. Now Bourbonnais throws a hit. Galakis will spin it around to the far side point. Kept in on the pinch by Bokenfour. Good job by him. Played back behind near side, touch pass, center ice, Gensler. Big hit thrown by Wood, pries the puck away. Gillespie, a blind backhand pass. Probably could have looked to shoot there, but instead it's shot back out to center, moved back in by Bokenfor, stopped up by Finn once more. 8:50 to go now in the first period. Engineers on top 1-0 over number 15 Colgate. As the Raiders will move it out to center ice, a little bit of speed shown here by Joe Wilson to the zone far side. Carries it behind the goal. One hands a pass in front. Stopped by Kasdorf on the tight angle try, and spun to the ice there was John Lidgett, the senior from Calgary. Not a real good shot, but Kasdorf had to be there on the near post.
Kasdorf had great positioning on that puck as the Colgate forwards were flying in and trying for the garbage goal off of Bradley's skate, but nothing doing. Now that I got the TV back in front of me, I'm happy. 8:37 left to play in the first period. 1-0 RPI over Colgate.
Face-off one back out to center by the Engineers. They push it ahead. The Liberté ahead for Neal. Back to get it is Law. He tries to skate away from Neal. Played center ice. Intercepted by Neal once more. Neal high slot. Over to the Liberté. Feeding it through the top of the crease, and Neal couldn't quite get there. Back out to center it goes. The Liberté, or excuse me, Karate has it. And now Neal. Neal throws it off a body, intercepted, and moved back into the zone by Wilson. Wilson has it pried away and slapped out of the zone by Matt Neal, who picked up his first goal of the year against Princeton. Now it's going to be Wilson. Near side of his own end. Holds it, feeds it forward. Nice look-ahead pass for La Liberté to the near point for Neal, who works it down low. Babella there, spins to the near corner, lots of room. Up top, Prapavesis faked a wrister, fires it down low, looking for the pass it through his own legs. Would have been a nifty play for Babella. Couldn't quite get it to his intended target. That'll allow Colgate back out to center. Matt Neal, stick handling through center, navigates through. A little bit of a hook there, and they're going to call that. It wasn't a real deliberate play, but Tim Harrison got the stick up in the midsection of Matt Neal. It's going to be a hooking call, and the Engineers are going on the power play.
Yeah, it just happened right in front of us, very briefly, right in front of the referee as Brian Hicks called that power play. So RPI is going to go on the power play for 2 minutes so far on the power play. They are 15.1%, which is 11 for 73. So RPI gets their first chance this game, and they're already up 1-0, hoping to add to that lead. 7:33 left to play in the first, 1-0.
Engineers power play 11 for 73. He's talked about 15.1%. They got a power play goal against Princeton last Saturday, and there's a clearance here all the way down by the Raiders, stopped up by Kasdorf behind the goal. Prapaves is there for the Engineers. He'll leave it for Drew Melanson. Melanson also a goal against the Tigers. Is it his outlet pass ahead for Nanny off the stick and sent right back down by Colgate. Not an easy catch and pass there to kind of work right at the blue line. Things have to be perfect for RPI. They weren't there. Now Bradley back for Prapavesis. Far side to Babella. He had a man in front of him. It was Darcy Murphy. The Engineers having trouble just getting the puck into the zone cleanly. Now they wrap it in. It'll come around to the far side corner. Babella had it for a second. Taken away by Wilson, trying to clear out to center, gets it as far as the neutral zone where Bradley has it. He'll go cross ice for Prapavesis, but so far nothing doing here on the man advantage for RPI. Prapavesis spinning around in the neutral zone, throws it near side for Leonard. He can't control the pass clean. He can go back to his own end to get it. Fans getting a bit restless here. RPI with 50 seconds left to go in the power play. 6:20 left in the first period. They lead 1-0 on a goal by Mark McGowan. Tip in officially on the shot from the point by Luke Karate. Now a race for the puck at center as it's tapped back out by the Raiders. RPI still struggling to get into the zone. Now they give it away. Bond walking in on the backhand. A shorthand attempt coming. It was fired wide, and Kasdorf didn't see it at all. It was a slap shot from Law from the top of the far circle. 25 seconds to go in the RPI power play, but Colgate still has the puck, and they're offside here as Bond couldn't quite get across the line, backtracking into the neutral zone before he touched the puck. Yeah,
bad giveaway by RPI in their own zone as they were trying to get something going on that power play, but a good forecheck by Colgate made RPI make the mistake, and fortunately for the Engineers, Kasdorf was there to make the save. 5:53 left to play in the first, 1-0 RPI over Colgate.
Face-off coming near side of the neutral zone, shot deep after the penalty kill face-off win for Colgate. Just 15 seconds to go on that power play, the first of the game for either team. And it'll be La Liberté feeding it ahead. Good pass ahead for Schrader. He got whacked a bit, but stays on the puck. Now back to the Liberté, goes through him and out to center. That'll do it for the power play. Engineers couldn't have had more than 10 seconds maybe of puck time, possession time in the offensive zone. during that 2-minute power play. 5.5 left in the first as the RPI Engineers have the puck behind their own goal. It's Karate waiting for it there. The one man standing in front of the net is Wilson, and he's not making any moves to go pressure the RPI senior defenseman below the goal line. RPI shoots it deep, and they say it is icing. It's a little bit of a late whistle, and DeVito threw a little bit of a jab into Galakis there, kind of stemming from that late whistle on the icing call.
Yeah, a late whistle, but it's icing nonetheless. You know, as you mentioned, the whistle could have been a little great earlier, and emotions could have settled down a little bit. 5:08 left to play in the first. 1-0 RPI over Colgate.
Face-off coming to the left of Jason Kasdorf. Engineers get tossed from the face-off down. It was DeVito, so Liljegren has to go in there. Liljegren the worst in the draw of any Engineers. A shot from the point, and they score. Through traffic, it's Law. We're tied at 1. It found its way through Kasdorf. Looked like he was well positioned in the middle of the net. We'll have to see where that one found its way in.
Yeah, it looked like it got deflected about 2 times. Kasdorf seemed well positioned in the net, and we'll see as it gets through a bunch of people, RPI loses the face-off, and a quick shot from Loff. Yeah, it got deflected about 2 times going into Kasdorf, so Colgate ties this one up at 1. 5:02 left to play in the first.
So we are all knotted up at 1. Liljegren had the puck for a second along the near side boards, right in front of his bench. It goes back to Leonard, who absorbs a hit from Murphy. Then Murphy and Leonard tie up. Leonard trying to get away from Murphy. They have a bit of a scrum away from the play, and now Leonard throws another hit, that time on Law. So Leonard throwing his weight around here. Both plays go uncalled, and probably should have been. It was just a couple of entanglements here in the neutral zone. Engineers have the puck once more. It's Prapavesis throwing it far side for Wood. Wood will cross center and dump it in. Finn can't stop it up. It comes around the near side boards. Kept in Bradley. Shoots into the far corner, and they say no. He didn't get to it in time. Really offside on the Engineers. 4:20 left in the first. We're tied 1-1 here, RPI and Colgate.
So low from Murphy and Penwick at 14:58 of the first. Gets the tying goal for Colgate. 1-1 RPI and Colgate in the first.
Colgate, the defensive zone draw win. Played up the far wall. Nanny picked it up and played it back to Melanson, now near side. Tried to look ahead for Bokenfor, who jumped into the play offensively. That pass doesn't connect, and Colgate will start over their own end. Evan Peterson plays it across, and now Johnston through the neutral zone. Far side for Peterson. He's offside. Engineers shoot it off the glass back out to center. And now here's Black. He'll scoop it in deep after he takes a hit from Melanson. And now Chris Bradley for RPI. Bradley, a junior from Williamsville, New York. 3 goals and 2 assists on the season. The RPI defense has picked up their scoring as of late. A 3-point game for Leonard against Princeton on Saturday, and Bradley had a goal as well. Trying to turn things around quickly are the Raiders. It's the Spinks into the zone, centering pass for Bond. Tried to pull it back, take a shot. It was blocked by a skate. May have hit Leonard or Prapavesis in front. Never got to Kasdorf, and it's probably good it didn't, because that was a pretty nifty move there from Kyle Bond. Puck out to center. Galakis ahead, swept to the near side. Tyler Spink looking cross ice for Tyson. A little bit too far in front of him. Will be played back towards the half wall for Bond. Near point Galakis pulls it back, takes a shot into the netting. We'll have a stoppage in play. Exactly 3 minutes left in the first period. We're tied at 1. Shots just 3-2 Colgate now. So RPI, 2 early shots, but haven't had one since, I believe, maybe 16 minutes to go in the period.
Well, I think Colgate's starting to find their legs. As you mentioned, only played 2 games over the break so far before coming in, and it looked at, in the first 5 minutes, RPI got the one goal lead, and I think Colgate now is starting to assert themselves and take over. They got the tying goal, and the ice has been tilted in Colgate's favor for a while. 3 minutes left to play in the first. 1-1 RPI and Colgate.
Drop coming here to the left of Jason Kasdorf. Picked up by Prapavesis behind his own goal. He'll stop things up there with Colgate not showing much of a commitment to pressuring behind the RPI goal. The Engineers will just take that space. They'll throw it up the far side. Now the Liberté, a little room to work. Takes a shot, takes a deflection off of a Colgate player. It was Corky in front of his own goaltender, but he got enough of it to keep it away. A race for the puck now back in RPI territory. Karate gets there, shoots it off the glass. Glove down at center ice by John Lidgett. Picked up by RPI once again on their own end. Karate ahead off the stick of Neal, bats it in the air, comes down rolling into the near corner. Corky has it there, plays it behind for Law. Law down the middle of the ice, connects with Panowick. Engineers intercept and fire it down the near side race for the puck. Liberté is going to win that race into the near corner. Teammates changing behind him. He takes a hit from Law, but finds Wood, who just jumped off the bench, and into the play near corner Colgate zone. Liberté, he's tied up by Law. 2 minutes to go in the first period. Wood's there as well. Corky and Law, the defenseman for Colgate. Trying to walk out of the corner was Wood. Now Bokenfour steps up into the play. Bokenfour below the goal line, lost it on the stick handle, picked up by Panowick, trying to clear up the far side, kept it at the point. Shot from the far point by Prapavesis goes just wide of the goal. Don't think that Finn saw it right away. It'll hop off of a coming together of sticks and hop over the glass. And we'll have a stoppage in play with 1:39 left in the first period. Game tied 1-1, RPI and Colgate.
Again, that was really the longest sustained pressure RPI has had in the Colgate zone since they scored the goal. And it just gets out of play. 1:39 left to play in the first. 1-1 Colgate and RPI here from the Fieldhouse.
Colgate wins the neutral ice draw. Galaka's far side, near side for Johnston once more. Now back to the far side boards. Galaka's crossing center, slams it in, wide of goal. It caroms all the way out to the far circle. Good awareness that time by Prapavesis, just held it back below the goal line again. Poked away from him, pinching up the boards is Johnston, near side half wall. Chopped out of the zone by the Engineers, it was Liljegren. And now it's Galaka's spinning around in his own zone, nearly giving away. Glove down, Liljegren walking in front, shot and a save on the shoulder by Finn. A giveaway there by the Raiders nearly cost them. Liljegren could not put it away. Now a shot from outside goes wide by Leonard. Diving play by DeVito, trying to keep the play alive once more. Under a minute to go in the first period. And that was a chance for RPI to take the lead right back. But Victor Liljegren denied by the right shoulder of Charlie Finn. Colgate has the puck in their own end below the goal line. It's Galaka's. He'll stop things up here as 5 of his teammates will change. 36 seconds to go as Colgate breaks out of their own end. Drop pass by Peterson. Near side Kulovic into the zone. Turned right back around by the Engineers. Carried in Nanny. Gets some help from Bokenfour. Faked a shot. Carries it far side hash mark. Stops up in the corner there. Pinned against the wall. Hands it off for Nanny. Nanny trying to spin off the check of Corky. 15 seconds to go in the period. And now Melanson. Near corner, picked up by the Raiders, scooped high in the air by Gensler, gloved at by Bokenfour, knocked out of the air, and then shot in deep by the Raiders with 2 seconds to go in the period. Back to Bokenfour, played behind for Bradley, and that's where the first period will come to an end. Gensler and Bokenfour go at it just a bit at the whistle, as Gensler with a bit of a cheap stick to Bokenfour. Bokenfour let him know about it, and they were separated. 1-1 your score after one. And not a lot going on in this first period.
No, RPI comes out, great intensity. They get the first goal of the game, and Colgate settles down a little bit, starts taking over the first period. They get the tying goal. Then Victor Liljegren had a great chance to get the go-ahead goal, but he just couldn't put it in the back of the net for the 2-1 lead. But right now, it stands at 1 goal apiece for RPI and Colgate. After 15 minutes of play. Coming up in the first intermission, we have our interview with Jason Kasdorf.
Yeah, the courtesy of ECAC Hockey, they were kind enough to share the shows on the ECAC Hockey's weekly podcast. It was Jason Kasdorf who sat down for a solid interview here, so we'll have that for you.
So they were kind enough to share that with us, and we'll get that right to you right now. So the score after 1 period of play is RPI 1, Colgate 1. You're listening to live coverage of Engineer Hockey on 91.5 FM, WRPI, Troy.
Okay, folks, we direct your attention to the east end of the arena, and it's time to give away some money. Inside the SEFQ money machine, there is $1,000. Our contestant tonight is Leslie Donahue. She'll have 30 seconds to grab as much money as she can while it's flying around inside the SEFQ money machine. The best part is you get to keep whatever you can hold on to. We'll be ready here in just a minute, folks. Okay, it looks like we're just about set to go, folks. Okay, we're going to count it down for you. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go!
Junior goaltender Jason Kastorp, the RPI Engineers out of Winnipeg, Manitoba, our guest here on Inside ECAC Hockey. We'll be back.
Back, hockey fans, to the Houston Fieldhouse on the campus of Rensselaer Polytechnic Institute in Troy, New York, for today's second period of play between the RPI Engineers and the Colgate Raiders. Ed DeGarren along with Perry Lascaris here on the call for you from the press box. You're listening to live coverage of the game on 91.5 FM WRPI Troy. Before we get started with the second period of play, we'd like to thank the Rensselaer Union, which provides the funding for WRPI and all club-related activity of the Institute, including WRPI's coverage of men's and women's ice hockey, football, and baseball. We'd also like to remind you WRPI is on the World Wide Web. Point your browser to www.wrpi.org, and you can hear our broadcast 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. So long as WRPI is broadcasting, we will provide the broadcast on the internet feed. Once again, it is www.wrpi.org. So, last couple seconds of the intermission winding down here as RPI went 0 for 1 on that power play. Shots 3-3 for that period. And RPI 0 for 1 on the power play. So RPI getting the first goal, then Colgate really taking over the game and battling back and getting the tying goal. So Milos Bubela takes the puck drop and he loses the faceoff.
Underway here in the second period. Engineers and Colgate tied at 1-1. Shots in the first period, just 3-3. The only power play was for the Engineers that did not have a power play shot, much less get into the zone. Here the Engineers moving it into the offensive end as La Liberté working it down low. Neal takes a hit below the goal line, picked up by Bubela. Bubela far corner, throwing it near side. Fading away from the play was Bogenfor, couldn't quite get there. Back out to his own end to get the puck. He'll go D-to-D over far side. Bradley back for Bogenfor. Bogenfor down the middle, through everybody, and all the way down. This will be icing on the Engineers. Just 41 seconds into the second period. We'll face off back in RPI territory.
Yeah, again, RPI has to come out in the second period with that same intensity they had in the first 5 minutes of that first, getting the first goal. Otherwise, it might be a long second period for them. 19-19 left to play in the second, 1-1 RPI and Colgate.
Face off to Kasdorf's right. Bubela lost the draw back to the point. Corky throws it far side. Law faked a shot. Wrist shot coming, stick into the netting by Kasdorf. And we'll have another face-off in the RPI end.
Yeah, again, both teams trying to feel each other out. And, 19-13 left to play in the second. 1-1 still, RPI and Colgate.
Mentioned these Raiders have won 4 games in a row. RPI had lost 9 in a row until Saturday when they beat Princeton. RPI still right in the thick of things. We talked about 4th in the standings. They've played 11 games. Only Quinnipiac and Princeton have played more. They've each played 12. Shot right off the feed from the corner. And it was Tyler Spink who had his shot partially deflected wide. Back to the point they go. It's Law. As Colgate's only goal so far is second of the season. And now it's going to be Baughan handing it off for Law, walking in front, looking to drop it back off. Maybe one too many pass attempts there. He was trying to feed it back for Tyler Spink when he was right in front of the net. The pass was off the mark, and Colgate doesn't get anything out of the opportunity, which looked dangerous from the get-go. Engineers shoot it off the far glass. Takes a Karam, moved out to center. Chance for a 2-on-1, but the pass eludes Schrader. Caught up the ice that time was Law, and it was Corky the only one back, and he was able to pick up the puck and avoid another chance for the Engineers. Flipped into the far corner. Kasdorf can't get his stick to it. Played behind. Here's Murphy. He takes a big hit there from Wilson. Stick handling McGowan. Lost it in the skates. And now the Engineers do quickly move it ahead. Here's DeVito moving it in. Top of the circle. To the near corner he goes. DeVito spins around towards the near point. He'll cycle it down low, looking for Liljegren. Now McGowan has it. Back to the point, Wilson. Rister comes through traffic, may have caught Liljegren. He'll hand it off to Johnston. Johnston down the middle of his own zone. Holds it. He looks to feed it far side. Good play at the line by Bourbonnais. Dump in. Play will be made, however, by the Raiders, and they make a change. Chris Bradley back behind his own goal. He'll hold off there as the Engineers make changes as well. Bradley, far side for Bokenfour. Up the boards, tipped in by Wood. Back to get it is Kulovic. Kulovic takes a hit and goes down. Puck comes free to the near corner, Bourbonnais. Near point, Bokenfour. Wrist one towards goal, hit a skate. It was Galakis. Rebounds right to the middle for Wood. Took a shot that goes wide. Picked up Bourbonnais near corner. Riley Bourbonnais on it. Spinning away from some pressure. Still Bourbonnais. He's tied up now by Kulovic. 4 players in the corner, 2 each way. Near side goes behind the goal now for Wood. Good pressure by RPI. Wood loses an edge and goes down. Tries to fight to get the puck back from Galakis. Raiders have it, trying to clear. Kept in by Bokenfour. No. Let's say they did keep it in, but the Engineers want to change anyway. And they'll move back out to center. Spiro Galakis has it for Colgate behind his own goal. 3.5 into the second period. Just 1 shot so far here in the second. It belongs to Colgate as we are tied 1-1. There's just a giveaway in the neutral zone. Engineers have it. It's the Bansta Bistrica native. Milos Bubella feeds it near side for Prapavesis. And now we have a whistle and a puck, believe, hits someone in the bench. We'll have a face-off upcoming here. 16:08 on the clock. Second period. It's 1-1 RPI in Colgate.
Yeah, and again, like I mentioned, RPI, you know, they can't have a period like this where it's just back and forth because eventually Colgate's going to take over shots. 4-3 right now in favor of Colgate. Very low shooting game. That seems at 16:08 left to play in the second. 1-1 RPI in Colgate.
Raiders win the draw. They move back to their own end. RPI quickly pressuring. That pass came off the skate of the Liberté, and the Engineers weren't quite able to capitalize. Now they take over at the point. Far side is Bubella, feeding it to the far side for Neal. Down low for Milos, and he can't control that pass. Back out to center it goes. Luke Karate picks it up for the Engineers, takes a look around, and skate behind the net. Play it near side for his defensive partner, Wilson. Up the near boards for Neal. Connects there. Across the line, he gets tied up, and now La Liberté has it. Trying to drop it back to the high slot. Jumping into the play is Leonard, a shot over the top. He was looking for that top right corner. Leonard, another drive, and it's turned away, that time by Finn. Back out to center. It's Wilson for the Raiders. He'll take a wide angle at the shot he takes from the circle, and hopping out of the net was Kasdorf. The shot kind of popped up off his chest protector, but he was able to glove it and hold on.
Yeah, on the other end, Leonard taking the shot, and Finn didn't know where it was. It had bounced off the backboard behind the net, came right back out to Leonard, and Finn just gets over there in time. 15:19 left to play in the second. 1-1 RPI and Colgate.
Face-off coming to the right of Kasdorf. Kicked back. Johnston faked a shot. He moves it near point. Corcoran through traffic, looking for the deflection from Bond. Didn't get it. Melanson trying to poke it out of the zone. Can't do so. Bouncing puck in the far circle. Picked up by Leonard. Out to center. Is trying to find a streaking Melanson. That doesn't connect. Corcoran has it near side. Played up the wall and flipped in deep by Bond. Back to get it Leonard behind his own goal. A little bit of pressure from Tyson Spink. Now Prapavesis feeding it near side for Nanny. Lou Nanny far side off the wall. A little bit behind Melanson. Corcoran takes over near side ahead for Tyson Spink. Now Tyler. Cross ice pass connects to Bond. Bond tried a little drop pass. That's partially broken up by Leonard. Coming over to help out was Melanson. RPI bench wanted a slashing call, not going to get it as the stick was knocked right out of the hands of Drew Melanson. He goes back to grab it. Prapavesis has it now for RPI. Played it back behind his own goal for Leonard. Leonard with it in the far circle. He looks to move it out to center. His initial pass was broken up just a bit, but it does find its way to Melanson. Top of the far circle, now to the hash marks. Down low, Melanson lost it on the stick handle. Played up the boards right to Schrader. Schrader back to the corner, tried to work it back down low. It's intercepted by Galakis. Spiro Galakis spinning around in the far side of his own zone to create some space. 14 minutes to go in the second. Still 1-1 here, RPI and Colgate. Galakis into the zone, near side hash marks, below the goal line into the corner. Plays it around to the far side, pinching up the boards now is Panowick, and now turning towards the blue line, keeping it in the zone is Murphy. Murphy, a shot right on. Saved by Kasdorf. He cobbles up the rebound. It squirted away for a second. He was able to pounce on it and not allow any further damage.
Well, not bad defense by Bradley. He did everything but get the puck out of the zone. Good forecheck there by him, and Kasdorf right there to smother the shot and any potential rebound. 13:46 left to play in the second. 1-1 RPI and Colgate.
Face-off coming, near side of the RPI zone. Shot through traffic, was blocked down, picked up by Bradley. Engineers trying to break quickly. Ahead for DeVito, touch pass far side for Liljegren. Back to DeVito in the circle. DeVito turns at the far side, Hassmark's holding, feeding it to the near side. Bokenfour pinches all the way in down low. He's been doing that quite a bit here in this game. He's being replaced at the point by Liljegren when he does jump into the attack. Back to the near point for the aforementioned Liljegren. He'll play it into the far corner. First one to it is Gensler for Colgate, trying to work it back behind. Law has it, trying to evade some engineers in the offensive zone, and now Freeman breaks out to center. Freeman near side, trying to make a move around Bokenfour, made the move, swept away at the last second by the reach of Bradley, and the engineers will try to move back the other direction. Liljegren into the zone, 1-on-2, McGowan trailing, fed softly into the far corner. RPI will get a partial change. It's picked up by Brett Corky, sophomore from Calgary, Alberta. For these Raiders, move it ahead to Wilson. Avoids his own teammate there in Peterson, dumps it in deep. It'll roll around to the near side corner. Jared Wilson there, feeding up the boards for Bourbonnais. Bourbonnais out to center ice, bouncing puck. Swept at by Corcoran in no particular direction. Went back towards his own goal. Didn't look like he's looking for anyone. Now Bourbonnais in the near corner. Bourbonnais holding. He's being harassed there. He gets dumped and shoved down in the end by Lidget. Back comes Johnston. Working it deep, gets around Wilson. He'll chase after it, goes below the goal line. Behind the goal, now Wilson catches up to him and ties him up. Far corner they go. Big hit thrown on Andrew Black. And now the Engineers break out to center ice into the far side. Shot from way out, far point. Came off the stick of wood, was well wide. Gillespie tried to break things up. Engineers want to change. And Colgate trying to catch the Engineers napping a bit there. They elect to just dump it in and go off on a change themselves. Prapavesis tied up below the goal line. Fed to the near side, nobody home. First one to it's going to be Kulovich. Centering pass, good positioning shown by Leonard there to break up that centering play. Now another chance for Spink, throwing in front. Shot by, it was Tyler Spink. Never got to goal. It's loose just outside the crease. Swept by a glove, but it was outside the crease, and luckily it was Prapavesis who knocked it away. And the Engineers get it out to safety. Dangerous looking play. There's a shot from center ice. Took a wicked deflection, and Kasdorf has to be on the ready there. He went down to a butterfly to make the stop, and that not as easy as it looks, even though it came from distance.
RPI with good defense, clearing away the empty pocket, and Kasdorf very alertly jumps on it. Then on the other end, I like the fact that Bokenfour is pinching down, but he can't pinch down too far. He doesn't have the speed to get back into play, and we almost saw it there. It almost hurt the Engineers. 11:33 left to play in the second. 1-1 RPI and Colgate.
Face-off coming to the left of Jason Kasdorf, far side of the RPI zone here at a maybe half-full Houston Fieldhouse. Fans still trickling in. Of course, as Ed mentioned earlier, class is not in session here at RPI. A face-off win for the Raiders. They keep it in at the point. Karam's off the backboard on the dump-in play. DeVito gave it away far point. Tyler Spink shot up top, looking for the top corner. It was Tyson that time, high and wide. Kept in at the point near side. Baughan down low. Tyson Spink takes a hit, keeps the play alive to the far corner. Liljegren runs into Law, who had pinched in up the far boards. And now Tyson Spink feeding it in front for a Tyler. That doesn't connect. The Engineers trying to break the other way. McGowan crosses center, has a man in front of him. It's Liljegren, and just wrap it around. Comes all the way to Liljegren along the far side. He takes a bump. DeVito up the far boards, keeps it in, knocked down by the glove, and moved out to center by the Raiders. Near side here is Tyson Spink into the zone. Stops at the top of the slot. Drop pass in front. Oh, good passing play. Saved by Kasdorf. Penalty upcoming on the Engineers. And Wilson may have saved a goal there, as crashing the net from the far side was sophomore Tim Harrison. And he, if he could have gotten to that play cleanly, he would have made a move around Kasdorf and potentially scored there. So maybe not a bad penalty to take there if you're Jared Wilson.
Yeah, no, this was a great penalty by Jared Wilson, as one of the Colgate forward had a dive to try to get the puck past Kasdorf, and Kasdorf there with his skate to make the save. Unfortunately, though, it's going to be against Jimmy DeVito.
DeVito, excuse me, yeah.
At 47 left to play in the second. 1-1 RPI and a good penalty for RPI. They'll gladly take 2 minutes man in the box.
First power play chance here for the Raiders as they set things up. Kulovich. Now Johnston fakes a shot, takes a shot, deflected off the base of the cage. What a chance there for Panuik. And now a chance for RPI to break shorthanded. Babella trying to get there. Has Schrader with him. Walking Babella takes a shot. Save. And the puck is underneath the sophomore goaltender, Charlie Finn.
Well, Bubella did have a man trailing, but he was unable to get the pass off, as it was good positioning by Ryan Johnston, the junior blue liner from Sudbury, Ontario for Colgate. Didn't let Bubella get the pass off, and Finn covered the puck up. Didn't quite know where it was, but it was in his pads. 10:27 left to play in the second. 1-1 RPI Colgate.
Still another minute 38 to go on the power play for the Raiders, and they're having a bit of trouble getting out of their own end now. Near giveaway in front. McGowan lost his stick on the forecheck. Now he's going off on a change. We'll see how quickly the Raiders can counter. He actually grabs a stick. Good play by the RPI bench to get a new stick for McGowan as he went racing by back to his penalty-killing position. Engineers have it, moving out to center 3-on-3 shorthanded. This is a dangerous position to be in, of course, with only the one man back. And McGowan will just play the puck into the corner and go back to the bench. He'll go off on a change here. 9:52 left in the second period. 1-1 here, RPI and Colgate. Shots are 8-5 Raiders. Into the zone, thrown near side by Johnston. Lidgett, centering pass in front. Shot, looking for the top right corner, was Tyler Spink. Missed the net, comes off the glass all the way out to the far point. Babella can't clear. Spink, it's Tyson, near side. Galakis had it knocked away from him. RPI trying to break again shorthanded. Babella has it and didn't pick it up quite quickly enough to go in a shorthanded opportunity, but does waste some time. He'll play it in deep. Schrader's there now. Plays it all the way back out to center for Bradley. Engineers will rag the puck just a bit here as it's Bokenfour back for Bradley in his own zone. Colgate trying to get the puck back. Comes all the way in on goal from center ice. And the fans react there to that long, accurate drive from Bradley from his own blue line. Galakis. Near side, Tyson Spink into the zone. Takes a bit of a bump from Bokenfour, but stays on the puck. Neal pries it away from him now. And now it's Harrison. Back to Spink. Near corner to the point. It's Tyler. Back to Tyson near corner. Harrison tries to give it back to Tyson on the backhand, turning and firing. What a wrist shot backhander there from Tyson Spink. Got a lot of power on it, but he missed the net. Puck back out to center ice. Galakis tipped in deep by Lidgett. Penalty is expired. Engineers kill off their first opportunity of the game, so both teams 0 for 1 on the power play. Here's Bourbonnais trying to pick up speed to the neutral zone, gets rubbed off the puck right in front of his own bench. And the Engineers do get it deep. Law behind his own goal had a little bit of trouble with the back of the net as pressure came from Wood, but he does work it far side of his own zone. Whacked back behind the goal by Corky. Good forecheck by Gillespie breaks things up. Gillespie in the corner, trying to work it back to the point. Didn't quite get it to Wilson, who pinched in anyway, and the Engineers keep it in the zone somehow along the near side wall. 8 minutes to go, second period. 1-1 RPI and Colgate. You're listening to live coverage of RPI Hockey, 91.5 FM, WRPI Troy. Perry Lascaris, Ed DeGarian from the Houston Fieldhouse. The Engineers all knotted up 1-1 from the number 15 team in the country, the Colgate Raiders. The pivotal here, a crucial game in league play is the driving the net here are the Raiders. We're going to get a penalty out of this. It was a good play by Colgate to drive the front of the net area, and they're going to be awarded another penalty here. It's going to be boarding, in fact, so I'm not sure where that occurred. But we're going to whistle on the back-to-back power plays here for the visitors.
Yeah, 7:39 left to play in the second. 1-1 RPA Colgate. Luke Karate going to go to the box on a boarding call. I think it happened on the far side as Colgate was trying to get in front of the net. There was a centering pass, and right after the centering pass, Karate just put someone into the board. So, not a bad penalty, but a penalty that he probably want back. 7:39 left to play in the second. 1-1 RPI and Colgate.
Draw upcoming. One straight back. Tyson Spink along the near side circle. Broken up for a second by Leonard, but Bond stays on it, works it down low neatly to Lidgett. Out in front, Spink, a wrister, saved by Kasdorf, point blank, and a clearing effort by the Engineers all the way down. Stopped up there by Finn. He'll leave it for Galakis. Galakis near side, Tyson Spink centering pass. Tyler Spink, wrist shot right on, saved by Kasdorf at the edge of his crease to make the stop. And once again, good positioning. No rebound allowed by Jason Kasdorf. And Ed, Kasdorf, when he was struggling a little bit early this year, maybe around the middle of the season, right if he came back from his injury, it was because of the rebounds he was giving up, but he seems to be doing a better job now.
Yeah, and who knows what the injury was, but as the injury heals better, and the farther we go on into the season, Kasdorf is going to get back to his regular self that we've seen, and that's going to be great news for RPI. 7:12 left to play in the second. 1-1 RPI and Colgate.
Minute 33 on the karate penalty. A good, clean defensive zone win and a clearance for RPI. It goes all the way down the ice. Stopped up and moved out by the Raiders here. It's going to be Kulovic. Drop pass for Johnston. Near side Murphy. Avoids the check of Bokenfour. Lost the puck in the process though. And trying to step through it. Neal. Near side corner. Plays it behind. McGowan all the way down low to play it off the glass and into the crowd. So a bit of a bad break. Looked like McGowan had some time to fire that one down the ice and he missed the glass piece of the top of it. It won't matter here, of course, in college hockey. No automatic penalty, but RPI will have the face-off in their own zone.
So 1:02 left to play in karate's penalty. 1-1 RPI and Colgate from the fieldhouse. 6:41 left to play in the second period.
Draw coming. One cleanly by Neal. Back for Bokenfour. Fell down. Trying to clear the puck. Kept in near side by Galakis. Below the goal line. Swatted at by Bokenfour along to the near side boards. Spink back to the point. Galakis faked a shot. Far side Tyson Spink. And now Lidgett back to the near side point for Galakis. Barely kept that one in the zone. Spink off a skate, kept it again. Good hands by Galakis. Feeding it down low. Tip just wide. May have been Bradley. It was he and Bond down there. And this puck came off one of their sticks and just wide of the goal with Kasdorf leading the wrong way. Now Spink centering past Galakis. Walking in front. That one was blocked by sliding Neal. Near point, corner Spink. Far point Tyson Spink settles down a rolling puck for Galakis near circle. 15 seconds to go on the power play. Shot deflects in front. Bond can't control. Engineers flip it out to center. It's Neal who clears all the way down. And the penalty killers get a needed change here for RPI. 8, 7, and 6 left to go on the Colgate power play. Galakis ahead off of Spink. Hits Bubel in the neutral zone. Stops up the break into the zone. Out of the box comes Karate. And the Engineers kill off their second of the period and of the game. Tipped deep by Liljegren. He'll chase after it into Colgate territory. Liljegren behind the goal. Around to the near corner. Still Liljegren. Up top Leonard. Wrists one towards goal. Wide of the net. Wide right along the ice. He'll be shot off the glass and all the way down. Race for the puck. A little bit of speed here shown by Murphy. Out of the net is Kasdorf to play it. And he finds Liljegren near side and out to center for Bubella. Now Schrader into Colgate territory once more. A little bit of a bump there on his way through the zone by Corky. Around to the far side. It's picked up by Harrison. Tim Harrison, little saucer past center ice. Moved ahead by Panowick. Now far side Harrison. Drop through. Good stick there by Liljegren on the back check as Freeman was open on the near side. He broke up the play. Back out to center it goes. Harrison right back into the zone. Prapavesis, far side corner. Holding it there. Feeding it near side for Milos Bubella. Bubella cross ice again for Karate. Nearly picked off by Peterson. Engineers need to be careful breaking out of their own end here. Prapavesis with 4.5 to go in the second to tie game 1-1. The Engineers give it away. And a whistle here. It's going to be a slash. And it's an opportune one there for the Engineers because Colgate was about to break into the zone.
Yeah, it's going to be against number 26 for Colgate, Evan Peterson. You're right, Colgate was about to break into the zone, but I think the slash by Peterson impeded the defender from getting back. So a great call by the referee, good positioning, fourth, and an untimely penalty there for Colgate, as Evan Peterson has to be smarter than that. 4:30 left to play in the second. 1-1 RPI and Colgate. RPI will go on their second power play of the game.
No shots and not a lot going in RPI's first power play, as Peterson does go off for a slashing. Engineers power play has been decent here. Now here comes Bond. What a play by Neal. He didn't have the legs to hang with him skating wise, but he used his dexterity there to just lift the stick just a bit and keep the play alive in the neutral zone, or else may have been Bond off to the races shorthanded. Engineers back in the offensive zone with it. It's La Liberté for Neal, chipping it off the boards back to the point. Leonard carries it center ice blue line. Far side for La Liberté. Back to Leonard up top. Lost the puck, and the puck left the zone, and linesman almost missed that. It was one of the referees, I believe, who blew the whistle on that offside call.
Yeah, linesman almost did miss it. I don't know what he was looking at. He was very slow. It was obvious offside. The Colgate players have stopped skating. That's how obvious it was. 3:57 left to play in the second. 1-1 RPI and Colgate.
Well, Leonard wasn't going to stop, but finally the whistle went. Look ahead pass into the zone. Come the Raiders shorthanded. Gensler tried to throw it in front. Knocked down by Neal. And he will start things out for RPI in his own end. Leaving it center ice for Leonard. Fake to pass far side, then went near side for Neal. Neal into the zone. Feeding it backhand to the far side boards for La Liberté. La Liberté down low, connects to Neal in the circle. Now back up top, Leonard. Top of the far circle, La Liberté. Down low, far side corner, Schrader. Back up top, one-timer coming, Leonard. Kick save made by Finn. Back up top, near point, Neal. Tried to feed it down low. Law kind of caught up with it for a second. And now along the near side boards, Neal flips it back up top for Leonard. Bouncing puck on Leonard, but he keeps it in the zone this time. 39 seconds to go on the RPI power play. Cross ice pass is read by Gensler, and he'll skate ahead 2-on-2 shorthanded. Has Lidgett going to the net. Gensler, a shot saved by Kasdorf, and he holds on to that one as well.
Well, yeah, Gensler really couldn't make any pass out to Lidgett, as Lidgett was well covered. He had no option but to shoot that, and Jason Kasdorf was all over that. 3 minutes left to play in the second. 1-1 RPI and Colgate, as a bad turnover, but a good defensive recovery by RPI.
A little bit too predictable there on the power play, but once again, no rebound allowed by Kasdorf on that shorthanded chance. Your teams are going to make mistakes, as Coach Appert talked about before the game. You need your goaltender. In this case, he was talking about Finn, who'd make plays to make up for Colgate mistakes. That time it was Kasdorf doing just that for his team. Now another shorthanded chance. 2-on-2 comes Colgate, fed in front, looking for Murphy. Went off his skate, he fell down, and Bubella has it for the Engineers. Whips it cross ice for Bradley. Bradley chipping ahead from Melanson into the zone. Has a man in front, it's Nanny trying to get it to him. Nanny driving the cage. Good defensive play by Galakis. That's why he's the captain, as he just got right in the way of Lou Nanny. Didn't allow him to get to that puck on the centering pass. Far side corner now, centering by the Raiders as we're back to 5-a-side. Stick handling Johnston, pressured by Melanson, gave the puck away to Bubella. Engineers played behind, but have to be careful there because that's Darcy Murphy back there. And now RPI has it, it's Prapavesis. Prapavesis stick handling through center for Nanny, who just tips it deep. Picked up by Corcoran. Corcoran far side for Johnston. Flipped off the glass and was actually inside the bench. Colgate side, so we'll have a whistle here. 1:55 to go in the second period. Still 1-1. No goals scored so far here in the second period.
Well, RPI has to be more aware. They could have gotten unlucky as Peterson was skating out of the box. Fortunately for RPI, the puck was going into the corner. But if that puck was more well placed, Peterson would have had a breakaway. 1:55 left to play in the second. 1-1 RPI and Colgate.
Some pushing and shoving on our center ice draw. Bourbonnais, well, it's going to be the Engineers who get tossed from the dot. DeVito, as Tyson Spink threw something into Bourbonnais, who returned the favor. Now puck tipped deep by DeVito. Liljegren on it in the near corner, using his body to shield the puck. Now walks out in front, takes a shot from the tight angle, is below the dot near side, and now DeVito and Johnston getting into it, as they need to be separated. Face-off up coming in the Colgate zone. Good play by Liljegren, though, to kind of create something out of nothing in the offensive end. Yeah,
and you see the shots 11-8, and you think, oh my God, 8 shots on goal for RPI. Colgate is playing good defense. They're blocking shots. They're getting into passing lanes. And to an extent, RPI is too. Kasdorf is there when needed, but RPI is blocking the shots, reaching. So it's a very low shot game, but both teams playing great, sound defense.
Law behind his own net, off the defensive zone win, gives it away. Liljegren, he'll just throw it right back down low. Corkery gives it away. Down low, here's DeVito. DeVito in the corner, trying to turn away from Corky. Still DeVito rather, trying to cycle for Bourbonnais. Minute 20 to go in the second period. Raiders get on the puck and look to move it out to center ice. Here comes Wilson. Throws it all the way down. This will be icing on the Raiders here.
Yeah, as there was a good positioning by Curtis Leonard to make the icing. And 1:09 left to play in the second period. 1-1 still RPI and Colgate, as both teams really have their shots, but Finn for Colgate and Kasdorf on the other end coming up big for their teams.
Face-off coming up here. Draw win for the Raiders in the near corner. Puck pops high in the air, comes down in the near circle. Nanny just tried to jump right on it, couldn't control it. And now fed out to center and all the way down the ice. He'll come in on goal. Kasdorf will cover it up as it came just into his crease. And now we have some more tangling up here, as it's a couple of guys with letters on. Joe Wilson for Colgate and RPI captain Curtis Leonard tangled up behind the RPI goal.
Yeah, you know, and Kasdorf doing a good job just covering up the puck and not trying to risk anything as Joe Wilson for Colgate was crashing the net. So Kasdorf just decided to say, okay, I'll get the face-off in my zone and no harm done. So a good job by him on the ice to know where the players are, both for his team and the opposing team. 52.5 seconds left to play in the second. 1-1 RPI and Colgate.
Face-off upcoming to Kasdorf's left. Shot near side, kept in at the point by Kulovic. Takes a funny hop off the boards, jumping into the play. A save by Kasdorf. And where's the puck? Kasdorf got run into, and he has the puck in front of him somehow. Borderline penalty there. I'm not sure who that was who went crashing into Kasdorf. We'll have the benefit of seeing another chance at it, but there was it took a hop off the boards, and well, that was McGowan's doing, looked like there.
Yeah,
so.
McGowan, the shooter was just following the shot, and McGowan just took a check into Kasdorf, so nothing. Good job there.
That's why there was no penalty. It was McGowan who put the Colgate man into Kasdorf. 37 seconds to go as the puck is shot all the way down the ice. Raiders have it in their own zone. Spinning around is Kulovic. Plays it far side for Galakis. Spiro Galakis, far boards. Chipped into the bench by Schrader. And may have caught, looks like maybe a trainer for the Raiders. That he'll flip it into the crowd. Looks no worse for the wear.
He just says, okay, there's some kids over there. I'm just going to flip it and go nuts, guys. 25 seconds left to play in a second. 1-1 RPI and Colgate.
One final score from a pretty busy night in RPI athletics. Women's basketball improves to 5-1 in the Liberty League with a 62-47 win over Clarkson. More scores coming up as the night goes on. Engineers tip it all the way down the ice. They wave off the icing right away. 19 seconds to go in the period. We're tied 1-1 here at the Houston Fieldhouse. Spink, that's Tyson, flipping it far side, looking for Baughan. He and Leonard go into the far corner. Puck still there. Baughan has it, tied up by Leonard, but slithers away. Baughan at the hash marks now, spins back towards the corner. Still Baughan looking to center. Leonard has him tied up, and that's where the second period will end. Baughan just took a little bit too much time to try and deliver that pass, and by the time he considered it, the period was over.
You know, not a bad period by any means for RPI. You know, there was a few times, you know, maybe they should have shot the puck more or not had a defensive breakdown. But fortunately for them, Kasdorf was there, and they're hanging with Colgate right now. So shots 12-8 right now in favor of Colgate. 0 for 2 for RPI on the power play, and Colgate 0 for 2 as well. So game's pretty even. I mean, Colgate, yeah, they're more ranked, but RPI is doing a good job hanging with them when they get, you know, and as we mentioned, going on to the air, when they get all their injuries back and everybody healthy, RPI is a very, you know, formidable team. They're towards the top of the standings in ECAC hockey. Yeah, they're one game under 500, but they're still towards the top of the standings in ECAC league play. And they look to hope to improve on that in the future. But right now, we'll take a quick little break. We'll be back for the second period intermission. Score after 2 periods of play is RPI 1, Colgate 1. You're listening to live coverage of Engineer Hockey at 91.5 FM, WRPI Troy.
1, chuck your pucks. Couple of early favorites out there, folks. Any more? Couple of stragglers. Okay, our panel of judges will assess the results. And it looks like puck number 7 is the winner tonight. Puck number 7 is the winner of the Dunkin' Donuts Chuck-a-Puck competition. Dunkin' Donuts is proud to support RPI Athletics. Let's go Red, and thank you to all the participants. Puck number 7 is our Chuck-a-Puck winner tonight. A reminder, folks, Rensselaer Honda is proud to support RPI Athletics. Fans, bring in your game ticket to Rensselaer Honda of Hoosick and receive $50 off your next Honda purchase. Attention students, great news. College Suites at City Station is now open to all Capital District students. Everyone from Rensselaer, Sage, Siena, HVCC undergraduate and graduates can now experience the suite life and the area's best student housing. Special rates are available for spring 2015 as well as next fall. Stop by 1521 6th Avenue or check out our website at www.mycollegesuites.com today. Ladies and gentlemen, the CEFCU Student Athlete Spotlight recognizes students who have demonstrated a commitment to our community through volunteering, outreach, and leadership. While also keeping their grades above standard, these outstanding student athletes are making a difference on and off the field. We offer our hearty congratulations to RPI women's basketball player Shayna Eaton. You are tonight's CEFCU Student Athlete Spotlight. An additional announcement, fans, we would like to welcome Heroes at Home to tonight's game and thank all of the military and veterans for your service. A couple of additional announcements, folks. We remind you to remember to visit the RPI bookstore for all of your RPI apparel, gifts, and more. The RPI bookstore is located on the lower level of the Rensselaer Student Union. Attention RPI hockey fans, what are you doing this summer? Rensselaer Polytechnic Institute offers credit courses, customized programs, summer enrichment programs, and sports camps for you to explore and begin to develop your passions and interests. Visit the Summer at Rensselaer website at summer.rpi.edu and see what we have for you. Reminder, folks, the men's hockey team takes on Brown University on Friday, February the 13th for Military Appreciation Night. Stop by the Houston Fieldhouse box office and grab your tickets tonight, or log on to tickets.athletics.rpi.edu to purchase your tickets online. Friday, February 13th, RPI versus Brown. Additional reminder, folks, don't forget to stop by the Fieldhouse box office to reserve your Mayor's Cup tickets. RPI men's hockey takes on Union College at the Times Union Center on Saturday, January 24th. Hey fans, ever wanted to take a luxury cruise but didn't want to fly? The Yankee Trails World Travel works with Carnival, Holland America, NCL, MSC, Royal Caribbean, and cruise lines, offering cruise departures out of New York City and New Jersey. They also include their Cruise Express shuttle transportation in all of their packages. For reservations and more information, call 286-2400 or visit online at yankeetrails.com. The RPI men's hockey team would like to thank the Recovery Sports Grill for their continued support. Fans, bring your game ticket to the Recovery Sports Grill at Hilton Garden Inn, located in Troy, and receive a free appetizer with a purchase of $8.99 or more.
campus of Rensselaer Polytechnic Institute in Troy, New York. And the Houston Fieldhouse for today's third period of action between RPI Engineers and the Colgate Raiders, 15th ranked Colgate Raiders. Ed DeGuerin along with Perry Lascaris here on your call for Engineering Hockey, 91.5 FM WRPI Troy. Before we get started with the third period of play, we'd like to thank the Rensselaer Union, which provided the funding for WRPI and all club-related activity of the Institute, including WRPI's coverage of RPI men's and women's ice hockey, football, and baseball. We'd also like to remind you WRPI is on the World Wide Web. Point your browser to www.wrpi.org, and you can hear our broadcast 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. So long as WRPI is broadcasting, we will provide the broadcast on the internet feed. Once again, that is www.wrpi.org. Some out-of-town scores for you. Throughout the ECAC, only one non-conference game going on today, and that is in Massachusetts, where Merrimack leads Quinnipiac by a score of 4-2. That's at the end of 2. Also at the end of 2 in Hanover, New Hampshire, St. Lawrence leads Dartmouth by a score of 3-1. Obviously, it's 1-1 here, RPI and Colgate. And second period almost over in Schenectady. It is Cornell 1, Union 0. Start of third period in Cambridge, Massachusetts, well, actually Alston. It's 4-2. Harvard leads Clarkson. And midway through the second period in Providence, Yale and Brown, no score. So, teams coming back out on the ice for the third period of play. Teams have switched sides. Jason Kasdorf is in goal to our right, and Charlie Finn is in goal to our left. Final few seconds ticking off the clock here from the Houston Fieldhouse as teams getting ready for what either team hopes will be the last period of play in this one.
Two more scores to give you from RPI Athletics action over in Schenectady. RPI swimming and diving, the RPI women defeated Union 126-116. RPI men falling to the Dutchmen 139-104. Both teams are back in action tomorrow to host the now combined RPI Cummins Invitational. That's 12 o'clock at Robeson Pool on the RPI campus. We are ready to go here for period number 3 between RPI and 15th ranked Colgate, as it is the Raiders who start things out off the opening face-off win. They'll move the puck behind their own goal and eventually begin to break out. Here they come up the far side boards. Stopped up at the red line and picked up by the Engineers. Boken for, back for Bradley. Bradley cross-ice pass, caught by La Liberté. He took his eye off the puck and has to go back and get it. Now it'll be shot across to Bradley near side through the neutral zone. The Engineers very monotonous there through the zone. Now it's swatted in front. A chance for Mabella, who was swatted off his stick on the centering play. Now into the zone, it's Leonard. Spinning around Mabella, fires one into the glove. Rebound in front, Neal scores! Finn gave up the rebound, it just popped out of his glove, and Matt Neal pounced and swatted it home.
Well, I think both players were actually pretty surprised, and neither one of them knew what to do. Mabella took the initial shot, and Finn with the save, and the rebound sort of bounced down right in front of him. Didn't come up to Neal or anything, just sort of laying there. Finn saw Neal, Neal saw Finn, and both players stopped. And I think Finn thought Neal was going to crash the net. Neal thought Finn was going to cover the puck, so neither player moved for a second. Then Matt Neal was like, okay, if you don't want the puck, I do. And he put it behind Finn for the second goal. 18:57 left to play in the second. RPI leads Colgate 2-1.
Chopped at by Liljegren on the center ice play. Puck left the ice surface here. 18:50 on the clock, third period. The Engineers back out in front. They led early on in this game on a goal by Mark McGowan, who tipped in a shot by Luke Karate. The goal from McGowan is his third of the year.
Great job by RPI, especially Matt Neal, reading what Finn was going to do. As I said, it was just a bang-bang play. Neither one of them wanted the puck. And finally, Neal took over the puck and put it behind Finn for the goal. 18:50 left to play in the third. 2-1 RPI over Colgate.
Center ice draw upcoming. Shots just 12-9 Raiders. This has been that kind of game here. We've seen it more and more often, though, in ECAC hockey play. Low kind of shot totals. Here's Harrison. trying to work it in front. Skating after the puck is Murphy in the near corner. RPI looking to break back the other way. Schrader plays it off the wall. Turn right back around by the Raiders. They break into zone potential 2-on-1 play, although Schrader and Melanson get back quickly to slow that up. Played behind the goal now. Harrison with some space to work. Feeding it out in front. Chopped at by Nanny. Into the far corner it goes. Panawick there. Now tied up and knocked down was one of the Spinks. Law fires it wide. It'll be picked up in the far side half wall. Centering pass bounces high in the air. Well, Wilson had it for a second, but pinching up the boards is Law to break that up. Off the back of the goal, Law trying to walk it out in front. Kept in far point by Corky. Down low. Over skating the puck that time was Peterson. Engineers have it, and they can't get it out of the zone, or do they? Working up the boards was Melanson. Johnson takes it away from him, and the Raiders are just offside. We'll have a whistle here and a stoppage in play.
Yeah, Melanson just getting the puck out of the zone. Johnson took it away from him, and Colgate wasn't prepared to Johnson to take the puck away that quick. 17:42 left to play in the third. 12-10 shots in favor of Colgate, but RPI leads where it counts, 2-1 on the scoreboard over Colgate.
Center ice, and that'll hop into the Colgate bench. We'll have another stoppage in play.
So here we go again. We're going to try to go in. 17:36 left to play in the third. 2-1 RPI over Colgate.
Neutral zone draw. Johnston has it, feeds it cross ice. And now Johnston once more, near side. Off the stick of Wood, who tries to jump on it. Corcoran up the far side boards. Gillespie just feeds it right back into the zone. Johnston once more near side. Gets as far as his own blue line. He gets hammered. Gets it ahead, however, to Derek Freeman, who gets it deep. Now Bradley. Played around to the near wall. Engineers get it out to center. Gillespie steps around one check. Avoids a bit of a knee there. And now here's Bourbonnais into the zone. Feeding it in front off a body. It's loose. And where is it? It's in some equipment. It was in Galakis, who then gives a shove to Gillespie, and Gillespie cross-checks him right back, and those two might need to be separated here, as it's the senior captain and the RPI freshman who continue to go at it, at least in the war of words, and now they are separated.
Yeah, no one knew where the puck was. It was in Finn's equipment. And here comes the referee. I wouldn't be surprised if he's saying we're going to get a couple penalties. He even wants to review this to see if the puck went in. And he is. He's coming over.
I don't think it ever did.
I don't think it did either, but, you know, you always want to err on the side of caution. And I think he's doing the right thing, but I don't think it's a goal.
And that's just a scary play if you're the goalie, Finn, because you have no idea where that puck is. I believe it goes right up into Galakos, and it is not near going in the net, but I guess we'll see. We have a chance to look at a replay. Yeah, it's all the way out here.
Yeah. So.
Fortunately, those on the radio aren't able to see what we see, but the puck, I don't think ever got that all that close. It was a dangerous kind of puck flipping in the air towards the net, and Finn couldn't get out and reach it because there were two players in front of him, one for each team, that were not allowing to go out and get that puck. But in the end, I don't think it was anywhere near the net in the end.
Yeah, I don't think so either, but you just want to be sure. You know, the referees lost control of the puck to see, and this is pretty clear cut to me, but they're taking their time on this to be sure. Everybody's going to see what goes on.
By the way, I'm 0 for 2 on my last two guesses of whether or not pucks are going in. The Harvard women, I was completely wrong. I thought it was no goal last Saturday, and that was a goal. And then I was at the Sabres Wild game last night, and I thought the net was off, and they're going to say no goal. So, hey, I'm 1 for my last 3.
One for 3, Perry. You know.
I'm like a football coach challenging plays, I guess, right?
Hey, well, you know, 1 for 3, you win a challenge. You know,
1 for 3 gets you in the Baseball Hall of Fame,
keep a timeout,
right?
So, yeah.
1 for 3 gets you in the Baseball Hall of Fame.
Yes.
Anyway, Karate near side point. He'll feed it towards goal. Easily seen and played behind off the goalie stick of Finn. Engineers continue to put the pressure on. Neal trying to work it out in front. It goes back behind the goal. He was trying to find Bubella. Now off the back of the net. Nifty play by Neal. Out in front. Shot by La Liberté, blocked. He scores! Jacob La Liberté, and it's 3-1.
Jacob La Liberté with a great effort took the initial shot, and Finn with the save, and again the rebound came right back out to La Liberté, who followed up his shot with a goal. I like that from Jacob La Liberté. He's got to think shot more often. He's got a pretty potent shot, but the problem is, in my opinion, he looks for the pass too much when he gets it on his stick, He was a prolific scorer in junior hockey. He was a prolific assist man as well, too. But he's got to shoot a lot more often when he gets the puck on his stick. And good things can happen for the Engineers. 16:38 left to play in the third. 3-1 RPI over Colgate.
Puck deep in Colgate territory. Engineers now lead by 2. And that one comes right in on goal. Finn's going to glove it and hold on.
So it's almost as if Jacob Liberty said, okay, you want to review the goal and give us no goal on the last one? Here you go. There's no doubt about this one as he puts it in the back of the net. Nice effort by Jacob Liberty. 3-1 RPI over Colgate. 16:26 left to play in the third. In Schenectady, it's 2-0 Cornell over Union.
A little bit of a half-hearted run of the flag around the Houston Fieldhouse, but we'll give them a break here. It's still break for these students here. Anyway, here comes Colgate out of their own end. Bond centering pass, gets it right back, walking right in, feeding it across the goal mouth, and nobody was there to stuff it home. It was Law who continues to jump into the play, who eventually runs the net off its moorings. Now we're going to have a whistle here and a face-off. Not sure where they're going to put it, depending on, they say, who knocked that net off.
So it was La Liberté from Matt Neal on that goal for the Engineers to give them a 3-1 lead. And we mentioned going onto the air, RPI starting to heal the injuries, coming back a little bit. They could cause some damage in the second half of the play. Right now, they're 3-1 over the 15th ranked team in the country. Give
Matt Neal a lot of credit. The play he made behind the net, he threw it off the back of the cage to himself, kind of spun away from the defender, and eventually got it in front for the Liberté, who had the stick-to-itiveness to bury home his either second or third try at it. And it's been really a tale of rebounds. RPI taking advantage of rebounds at their offensive end, and Jason Kasdorf just not giving them up at the defensive end. And that's been the difference in this game. 3-1 RPI leads, as it's going to be Corky down the middle of the ice. Far side now, knocked off his stick by McGowan all the way down. They're going to wave off the icing, as they say Johnston could have played it. Johnston now back to get it. A little bit of pressure from Bourbonnais. As they shoot it back deep again. Behind the goal, it's Johnston. Up the far side, boards, bouncing puck picked up by RPI in the neutral zone. Flip back the other way, skips by everybody in on goal. Finn will just leave it at the side of the cage for Corcoran. And now near side, Johnston through to the RPI line. Harrison gets it across, picked away by Bobella. He skates in 1-on-2. Bobella dragging it around Corcoran, lost it on the stick handle, went off the skate of Corcoran. And now he'll play it behind. Here's Johnston. Shoots it off the leg of Neal. RPI back on in the neutral zone. RPI controlling play here in this game. They're now leading in shots 16-12. As they get it down low, Neal takes a hit. Walking in front, Bobella, a one-timer off a feed from the Liberté, and this line is really clicking for RPI. Took a good save by Finn there to keep RPI from going up 4-1. Now Karate behind the goal. In his own end, finds the Liberté near side, lost it on the stick handle, gets run into by Peterson. Karate back to get it behind the goal. Luke Karate down the middle of his own zone, flips it far side, pass too far out in front of Bobella, couldn't control, although it's thrown right back into Bobella's skates. He can't find it. Move back out to center ice off the skate of Karate, who takes a hit, flip it on the side there from Gensler, stays on his feet. Puck flipped ahead by the Engineers, race for the puck. Nanny trying to get there, was knocked away from him at the last second. Now Gensler has it as he moves it back into RPI territory, takes a shot from right across the blue line. It's blocked by a skate, and the Engineers will chip it right back out to center. Law back to get it for Colgate. Skates back into his own zone, far side, pressure on the chase. It's Melanson. Still Law into the offensive zone now. Chips it off the wall around Prapavesis. Now he runs into Leonard. Leonard goes down hard. Penalty upcoming here on the Raiders as it's fed forward. RPI trying to move it up ice, and they do it. Schrader, Melanson with him. Now another Engineer joining the play. Drop pass in front. Looking for the Liberté. Net comes off. It was clearly by one of the Raiders players. They're going to get Law, who still doesn't know why he's going off here, but he was the one who ran into Leonard. And I'll tell you right off the bat, I thought it was a borderline penalty, and that's why Law is going to have the argument here.
See, now I thought the one against Law was an obvious penalty.
Okay.
And Colgate may get another one here too.
I thought for the second
I think they
delay a game. You might be right, but I don't think they're going to put it up there.
I think the one against Lowe over here was a obvious penalty. But
Well, we're gonna have to agree to disagree on that. I thought it was shoulder to shoulder. The way Leonard went into the boards, and that's not a penalty. I have to, looking at it again, I have to disagree on the second. The Gensler, he kind of lost an edge and went into the net. Didn't look like he was doing it on purpose. The first one, I guess like I said, we're gonna have to maybe agree to disagree. It did not look like it was all that reckless of a boarding. It looked like it was shoulder to shoulder. Leonard did kind of crumple that right knee, which made it a little more dangerous than it appeared. But anyway, RPI on the power play to get away from what's happening.
That's the bottom line.
Power play time for RPI. They're 0 for 2. And it's a defensive zone win for Colgate. They can't clear. Vaughn down low with it. Galakis tries to spin it out far side. Comes off the glass and all the way down the ice. Chased down by Kasdorf, who will play into the near corner for Leonard. Now Neal drops it off for Leonard again, and RPI will start things out once more. La Liberté ahead. Schrader chips it in deep. First one to it is Neal. Chops it behind near corner. Fed towards the point for Leonard. Curtis Leonard. Near side circle, Schrader walking in. Tried to feed it even further into the corner for La Liberté. Kept in, no. Leonard back out to center. 1:18 to go on the RPI power play. Galakis, a high hit on Leonard. He'll chase after it into the near corner of the RPI zone. Galakis shorthanded. 4 engineers below the goal line trying to take the puck away from him, and still Galakis on it somehow. He'll work it below the goal line still, and now the engineers have it. And it's Schrader who walks away with the puck. 3-on-3 to the Colgate line. Schrader lost the handle, pokes it in on goal. It'll be covered up on the glove by Finn. We get a stoppage.
So RPI trying to extend their lead against Colgate on the power play. 55 seconds remain. 12:23 left to play in the third. RPI leads this one 3-1 over Colgate as they are looking to extend their lead by a goal.
Off the draw, Engineers win it at the offensive end. Far side, Melanson gets it down low, now back up top circle. Prapavesis, high slot, holds it, pulls it back. Back to Melanson, far side, had to corral it with the skate. Now near side, Bradley. 38 seconds to go on the power play. Faking a slapper, Prapavesis. Backhand pass, far side, Melanson. Near side, Bradley. One-timer feed down low. Off the post with a try by Nanny. Back to Melanson. The Engineers had a goal, and Nanny didn't catch it cleanly, and it kind of skittered off the post. Now a deflection in front as Melanson threw it towards the goal. Picked up near side, Babella. Cross ice pass, Prapavesis just across the line. Keeps it in, tipped in front. Shot, and he flung it wide. It was Nanny once more. Near side, Babella using his body to shield the puck. Up top, Bradley. 9 seconds to go on the power play. Shot blocker save made by Finn. Penalty about to expire. 5 seconds to go. Babella, great power play for RPI, even if they don't score here. Generating the chances that they're looking to put one away. One-timer in front. Babella didn't get it cleanly, and now the Raiders will move it out to center ice. Shot in deep. It'll carry them around, and the Raiders do kill off the penalty, but the Engineers come very close. They hit a post. It was Lou Nanny on a terrific passing play by the RPI, what you call a second power play unit. I'm not sure if they're a 1 or a 2 at this point, but that second group out there, we'll say, on the power play, nearly connecting on a tic-tac passing play. Back to 5 aside here. 10:50 left in the third period. RPI leading. Number 15, Colgate. 3-1 here at the Houston Fieldhouse. Penalty coming up here as dragged down was Jared Wilson. As a stuff play in front, saved by Kasdorf, point blank. And now we're going to whistle here, and it's going to be a holding call. And it looks like it has to be on the Engineers.
Yeah, it's going to go against the Engineers. I think you meant to say the penalty is going to be on Jared Wilson, as that's who's going to the box. So 10:41 left to play in the third. RPI leads 3-1 over Colgate, but almost a fourth goal by Lou Nanny. Scoring twice, yeah. Again, in borderline.
From the looks of things, I thought that might have been on the Raiders, but I'm not sure why Wilson would hold in that situation. He has the positioning, and
interference, maybe.
They called holding.
But anyway, Colgate has the power play, 3-1 RPI.
Face-off upcoming, and the Engineers clear it out to center. Raiders will start things out from their own end. Up the near side boards and deep. Prapavesis gets run into the back wall. Tyler Spink trying to move it out of the corner. Can't do so. Big power play opportunity here in this game. And a 2-goal lead for the Engineers. Galakis. Near side point. Tiptoes the line, takes a shot, saved by Kasdorf. Puck played with a high stick. Engineers aren't going to touch this. And the whistle goes. Face-off coming outside the zone. Smart play by RPI, knowing the situation. Puck was played by a high stick by the Raiders. Engineers don't need to touch that puck. Eventually they're going to get a whistle. The referees want the game to move along. But the face-off will come outside the zone if RPI doesn't touch it.
Yeah, 10:06 left to play in the third. RPI 3-1 over Colgate. RPI playing smart and killing off the penalty as well. 19-14 shots now in favor of RPI.
Shot all the way down off the neutral zone win by Chris Bradley. It'll be stopped there by Charlie Finn. Jake Kulovich. Near side neutral zone, chips it off the glass and all the way down. Bradley. Kulovich takes it over, trying to move it back to the point. Bradley has him all tied up. Murphy flips it back high slot. Johnson has to come all the way over from the near point, but he makes a play on it. Keeps it in the zone. Murphy down low. Panewick has it knocked away from him, gets back on it. Panewick back to the point. Johnston. Top of the far circle. Panewick down low. Read and intercepted by Bradley. Knocked away from him. Darcy Murphy at the far point. All the way back as far as you can go. Now high slot Johnston. Through traffic. Looking for the deflection. Kick saved by Kasdorf. Picked up Abella. Scooping it towards the point by everybody. And a chance for Schrader. Schrader shorthanded. Takes a slap shot, saved by Finn. He really ran out of opportunities there. Not a great angle. Kulovich was there to kind of cut down the options for Schrader shorthanded, and eventually just took a big slap shot that was absorbed by Charlie Finn. Back the other way come the Raiders. Centering pass intercepted by Pravovessis. He gets whacked on the arm by Tim Harrison. And that goes uncalled here. 8:45 to go in the third. RPI leading 3-1. 3 seconds to go on the penalty. Wilson about to come out of the box with whistle here and an offside call on the Raiders.
A good job by the engineer. Zach Schrader realizing that Finn's coming out to cut off the angle on him, takes a slap shot, almost gets one short-handed, but unfortunately for him, Finn was up to the task. 8:42 left to play in the third. 3-1 RPI over Colgate.
Center ice draw upcoming. As I mentioned, just the 2 seconds left on the power play. Raiders win the draw back, but that'll allow RPI to move back to even strength. Shots are 20-15 RPI here. They lead 3-1. Raiders have the puck in their own zone. They go D to D. It's Law. He has the lone Colgate goal. Came all the way back in the first period. 14:58 of the first from Murphy and Panewick. RPI has scored twice here in the third to take a 3-1 lead by the two seniors, Neal and the Liberté. RPI can't get it out near side. Johnston keeps it in. Battle for the puck, moved out to center. Liljegren. Liljegren has a teammate with him. Black does a nice job defensively to just take it away. Andrew Black, sophomore from Buffalo, feeds it up the near side boards, trying to get out of the zone. Gets some help there from Lidgett. Karate has it, plays to his defensive partner, that's Wilson. Battle for the puck along the wall, far side, flipped in deep by the Raiders. It'll come down in the near corner. Karate, senior from Cheshire, Connecticut. And now Wilson down the middle. Good connection, and Melanson just helps it into the far corner, gets it to himself. Now Nanny, tight angle shot, looking for the feed in front. He had Schrader, but it was broken up and never got to the senior winger. Bouncing puck near side of the Colgate zone. They tie up there. Out to center it comes. Shot back in by Karate, played very awkwardly by Finn. He kind of jumped for it and gloved it and left it next to his net for a teammate. Long outlet pass to the RPI blue line. Gensler gets it in deep. He's all hog-tied there by Bokenford. Both of them go down behind the goal. Two more players get upended. It's picked up by Bradley. RPI has numbers if they want to hurry. 4-on-3, but they take a casual route and just dump it in, go off on a change. Engineers don't need to risk too much here, leading 3-1. 6:45 left as maneuvering through center and throwing one on goal from center ice is Kulovich. Out of his crease to cover it up is Kasdorf. We get a stoppage in play.
Yeah, Kasdorf doesn't have to do anything special with it. He doesn't have to, try to generate some offense. All RPI needs to do right now is they want to keep up the offensive pressure, but they want to keep Colgate off the board as well. So 6:39 left to play in the third. 3-1 RPI over Colgate. Good job by Kasdorf holding onto the puck.
Face-off push to the far side, half wall kept in by Kulovich. Shot hits a body in front. There's a collision between Kasdorf and one of the Raiders. I don't think any kind of goal would have counted. It was Darcy Murphy who went sliding into Kasdorf as he made that save. I believe the face-off's going to come out of the zone here.
Well, Kasdorf had the puck covered up.
Right.
So we'll see. It looks like the faceoff is going to be still in the zone. 6:32 left to play in the third. 3-1 RPI over Colgate.
It was an interesting play because Murphy kind of slid into Kasdorf right as the shot was coming. And Kasdorf able to make the save and hold on anyway. Showing good focus there. Faceoff just sits on the dot, far side of the RPI zone, picked away by Kenny Gillespie. Gillespie through center, chips it off the far boards. Wood trying to track it down, runs into Law. Gillespie now into the near corner with it. He gets tied up a bit, nearly went down. Raiders have it, far side of their own zone. Murphy to center, tracked down by Gillespie, fires it right back in. Wood needs to touch up and does. Finn can't slow it down. It's picked up behind the goal by Kulovic. We approach 6 minutes to go in the third. RPI on top of 15th ranked Colgate. Engineers have never trailed in this game. A shot from way out is easily held onto right into the bread basket of Kasdorf on the try by Panowick.
Well, shots 20-15 now in favor of RPI. 5:58 left to play in the third. RPI leads 3-1. Shots after two are 12-8 in favor of Colgate. Now they're 20-16 in favor of RPI. So you could do the math at home. 5:58 here left to play in the third. 3-1 RPI over the Raiders.
Face-off win for the Raiders, and the shot by Johnston hits a shin pad out to center. Galakos has some pressure from Liljegren, who plays it back across far side for Johnston. Now back to Galakos, quickly back to Johnston. They trade sides here. Now it's Tyler Spink who hands it off to Tyson. Tyson fires it in, gloved by Kasdorf, and he will leave it at the side of the cage for Schrader. Schrader for Leonard. Up the near boards for Liljegren. Liljegren into the zone. Stops it up there at the point, down low for McGowan. McGowan had the first goal of the game here for RPI. It's been all seniors here scoring for the Engineers. McGowan, Neal, and the Liberté. Now Spink pulls it back, takes the shot, blocked by Karate. Puck trickles into the near corner. Vaughn, he's tied up. Karate battling for it. Tyson Spink gets bumped. Played in front, but good positioning that time by Neal. Intercepts the pass, moved out to center. Here's Babella with speed into the zone. Babella driving the net, walking in front. Babella, the net is kicked off its moorings by Finn and then helped off even further by Tyler Spink, and that's not going to make any more friends with these fans here, as they already thought Finn kicked the net off on purpose. It looked like he was just pushing off post to post, but the fans aren't going to agree with that no matter what happens here. Yeah,
Finn didn't kick that off on purpose. He was going post to post, but it was helped off by Tyler Spink. They might have a case on that.
That could just be delay a game.
Yeah, well, Bubella still had the puck, and he was in the act of passing it, so they might have an argument with Spink, but they don't have an argument with Finn. 4:56 left to play, and then Tyson Spink heading off to the bench, put a little glove to the face of Bubella. 4:56 left to play in the third. 3-1 RPI, and a cheer comes up for the net man here at Houston Fieldhouse.
We used to call him drill guy back in the day, but out to fix the hole where the net may have come off a little bit too easily. They're going to make that hole a little bit deeper for the moorings to kind of fit in there. Anyway, the net was already off when Tyler Spink knocked it off even further. So it really didn't make too much of a difference. If it was on its moorings and you did that, you're probably getting a penalty, but not this case. The net was already off, and Babella kind of ran out of time when he was driving the net. He went pretty wide, lost the puck a bit, never got a shot off, but it was a good idea there by Milos Babella. 4:56 left in the third. 3-1 RPI leading Colgate. Defensive zone draw win for the Raiders. Darcy Murphy near side. Tapped towards the RPI line by Wilson. Sent back the other way by RPI, and they're going to wave off the icing here. Not quite sure why. Johnston, far corner of his own zone, plays it around to Galakos. He can't control that pass. And then Liberté will work it down low for Neal, trying to touch it out in front for Babella. Pass off the mark. Played far side by the Raiders. Karate slams it in from center, gloved by Finn, and handed off to Johnston once more. Shots 2016 Engineers, and a pretty tightly played defensive game for RPI. Now it's shot all the way down by Colgate. This will be icing, and we'll have a stoppage in play.
So 4:16 left to play in the third. Time not on Colgate's side. RPI doesn't want any more stoppages as time is not on Colgate's side, but stoppages give them breaks to try to set plays. 3-1 RPI over Colgate here.
Shot wraps around towards the near point and out to center. Curtis Leonard has it there. He'll fire it right back in on goal. Right into the glove of Finn once more. Now Galakis again, near side of his own end. He's being harassed by Bourbonnais. Galakis near side. Ahead for Harrison. Harrison into the zone, top of the circle, pulls it back, takes a shot. He was trying to pick out that top right corner, and he missed the net. Engineers tap it all the way down the ice. Icing waved off very early on. It'll be controlled now by the Raiders behind their own goal. Brett Corky down the middle. Forced to the far side of the ice by Melanson. Melanson breaks things up across the line. Looked like offsides on the Raiders, although Mike Emanation, the near side linesman, ate his whistle on that play. Looked like he was about to blow it dead, but didn't. Chipped back the other way. This will be icing on RPI. We'll have another stoppage here with 3.5 to go in the third.
So 3-1 RPI here at the Fieldhouse over Colgate. 3-1 St. Lawrence up in Appleton for the women.
Looks like a late goal for the Saints there.
Late empty net goal for St. Lawrence Saints. Still 2-0 Cornell over Union in Schenectady. Now RPI's Seth Appert going to take his timeout. Merrimack continues to lead Quinnipiac 4-2, 11:20 left to play in the third in that one. In Hanover, New Hampshire, 6:27 left to play in the third. 3-1 St. Lawrence over Dartmouth. As I mentioned, in Schenectady, end of 2-0 Cornell over Union. Harvard leads Clarkson 5-3, 3:36 left to play in the third in that one. And Yale 1-0 over Brown in Providence, end of 2.
Engineers looking at the standings here. If they can pick up a win, they and potentially St. Lawrence would jump into third place over Colgate in the ongoing kind of amalgamation that is the middle of the ECAC standings, which we have no idea where anyone from maybe 3 all the way down to 9 could finish at this point. I mean, there's still a lot of games left. Harvard playing very well. They only have 1 league loss, and they're winning tonight, but they're sitting 2. Quinnipiac way out ahead of the pack at 20 points at 10-2. Of course, they've played the most games, 12 of the teams in the running for the top of the league right now.
Yeah, and the rest of the teams after Quinnipiac and Harvard, the rest of the teams bunched.
Including RPI.
Colgate, RPI, Clarkson, St. Lawrence, Yale, even Union. They're all in there, in that whole bunch.
Yeah, 3 through 9 separated by just 3 points. All the way out to center, and Engineers clear it out, so they do the job here after the icings in the timeout. This group looking to get a change. As now Law is dragged down by McGowan. Penalty upcoming here on RPI, and not a good time to take one. I believe they're going to get McGowan for a hold here.
Yep. It's
or
definitely going to be a hold, but Schrader's going to go into the box.
Nope, that's McGowan.
Where is he?
No.
They like to fool us, these players.
They fooled you. Hey, they fooled you. I got it. Anyway, not a laughing matter for RPI. They lead by 2 goals, but we may see Colgate pull Finn here to try to create a 6-on-4 situation. 3:10 left. We'll see if they just stick with a conventional power play unit here. 3:10 to go. 3-1 RPI leads. McGowan to the box for holding. Lidgett, far side. Galakis feeds it down low. Bond behind the goal, looking to center. Broken up by Neal. This penalty killing unit, which has done a good job so far today, will need to have a big kill here for RPI to solidify this victory. Finn behind his own goal. Plays it off for Lidgett. Lidgett near side. Bond crosses center, dumps it into the far corner over the shoulder of Kasdorf. Bokenford trying to clear, didn't catch it cleanly, kept in far point by the glove of Galakis. Far side, Bond to the wall. Cleared all the way down by Babella. He was just kind of teed up there, read the pass, and flicked it all the way down the ice. Off is Finn with 2.5 to go. Minute 15 on the penalty.
Good choice by Don Vaughn, by the way, I thought.
So Ed agrees with the call. Here is Murphy into the zone, nearly intercepted by Schrader. He does break it up, and now we get a whistle here. And offside, I believe, is the call on Colgate.
And
Darcy Murphy's upset.
He's got to be very careful here. Mike Emanation very emphatic that puck came out of the zone, and Murphy having words with Emanation and sort of like putting his hand in his face and saying, enough of you, making that little motion. So it's got to be very careful. 2:14 left to play in the third. 3-1 RPI over Colgate. I'd like to remind you, you're listening to 91.5 FM WRPI Troy at the Gary Lascaris here from the Fieldhouse.
Back to the net goes Finn with 2:15 left. Minute 04 on the McGowan penalty. The Face-off is at center ice. I have to assume he'll go right back off after the Raiders get it deep. They win the draw and do get the puck back into the zone. Off comes Finn once more. Leonard gets hit. Fans want interference, not going to get it. Picked up by RPI's Leonard. Has a clear look at the net. He misses it wide. Engineers cannot be called for icing here. Nearly put into his own cage by Murphy, who dragged the puck out of the crease after it caromed off the back wall. 1:50 to go in the third. RPI up 2. Murphy into the zone, feeding it near side. Schrader pokes it away. Picked up Johnson near point. Holding it there. Far point. Shot coming through traffic. It was blocked by Leonard. Minute 40 left. 30 seconds on the Colgate power play. 6-on-4 hockey here with the extra attacker. Centering pass out in front. Prapavesis has his man hogtied. Couldn't get the shot away. Johnston walking out in front. Tried to pull it back. Takes the shot. It's turned away. May have caught the skate of Prapavesis. Minute 25 to go. Raiders still on the attack here. 13 seconds of power play time. Kicked around to the near corner. Wilson up top. Shot coming through traffic. It goes wide right on the drive by Kulovich. Top of the near circle now. Murphy wrists one towards goal. Tips wide into the far corner. Out of the box comes McGowan. 6-on-5 now. Minute 5 to go in the game. Engineers on top 3-1. Fed across near side. Quick shot saved by Kasdorf. He went post to post and held on to the rising shot by Joe Wilson.
Great defense by RPI on that penalty kill. They had a 6-on-4 for a majority of it. Now it's a 6-on-5. 59.2 seconds remain in the third period. 3-1 RPI over Colgate, and Finn probably won't come back on the ice depending on face-offs and stuff like that.
I can't think he will here. Colgate's going to take their timeout now. 59.2 seconds on the clock, and great penalty kill job for RPI. 4 for 4 on the kill this evening. The power play didn't show much until their last opportunity. It kind of took a while to warm up, it seems, but Coach Abbott talked about in the open, there's not that many penalties being called in ECAC hockey this year. It's just a fact. It's tough to get a power play going. It's tough to get a groove going if you don't get too many opportunities. But by that third opportunity, RPI hit the post, and they're moving the puck very well by the time they had that third chance.
Yeah, and on the other end, too, Colgate, their power play is buzzing. Nothing against Colgate power play. It's not like it's bad out there on the ice. RPI is just doing a great job killing it off, blocking shots, getting their sticks in the passing and shooting lane, doing what they have to do. And, of course, what can be said about Jason Kasdorf, your #1 penalty killer, backstopping it for you, and he's there when he has to be. So, if RPI plays this way for the rest of the year, they could be a tough out come playoff time and the rest of the regular season.
I mean, home ice not out of the question in a bye, even though if they can play. I mean, you don't want to jump to any kind of conclusions, but this team's finally healthy, and you want them to be playing like this late in the season. They get a very good Colgate team here at home, and they've played a very solid defensive game, and they've gotten goals from 3 different seniors. It's really a recipe for success. We'll see if they can close it out here, the final 59.2. After the Colgate timeout, 6 skaters out there for the Raiders. It's 6-on-5 hockey. One back to the point. Galakis wrists one. Blocked by Liljegren. Picked up by Babella. Babella carrying. Feeds it ahead for Liljegren. There's an empty net for the Raiders. Walking in Liljegren. Pulls it back. Centering past Babella. A little bit too tricky, and back comes Spink. It's Tyler Spink near side for Bond. Just on side of the Raiders. They get it in deep. Trying to work it out in front. Picked off by... looks like Leonard, gloved down by Liljegren, feeds it off the boards, out to center. Neal swats at it. He's going to have a chance in the empty netter. Walking in, he scores! Matt Neal with his second in the game, and Matt Neal with his another goal. He's really heating up for these Engineers, isn't he? He didn't have a goal for most of the season. Now he's got 3.
Yeah, and he went right to Muriel Rubella, and I just saw... on the monitor here in front of me, Matt Neal went to Rubella and just smiled and said, I sort of read his lips and he says, that's how you do it. As Rubella, could have shot it, but, wanted to kill a little time, had a man back there, but Matt Neal putting the puck in the back of the net. 29 seconds left, RPI leads 4-1, and they pretty much have this game wrapped up.
An empty net goal RPI fans have been waiting for a long time, it seems. Engineers seemingly on the other end of those a lot of times, but it's RPI getting this one now. Bourbonnais driving to the net. 14 seconds still to go in the game. Just trying to kill off the rest of this clock, work it back to the point. Karate wants more. Takes a shot, glove saved by Finn. And it's good to see RPI not just settling here they're continuing to play a full 60 minutes of hockey, which is what the coach asked of them, I'm sure.
Yeah, and it's 4-1, 6 seconds left. Good, solid game by RPI. Is pretty much his face-off is coming into the zone, and Matt Neal is just being announced as the goal scorer. As Liljegren gets the assist, and Curtis Lindell gets the secondary assist on that fourth goal for RPI. So, solid game for RPI. Coach Seth Appert has to be happy about this.
Puck one into the corner. Gillespie tied up a bit, centering pass in front board, but he flicks one on goal in the backhand. Finn makes the save as the horn sounds, ending this one. But a sound 4-1 win for RPI as the Engineers take it by a 4-1 scoreline, outshooting the Raiders 23-18. Talk about defensive efforts. RPI gave up 37 shots on Saturday against Princeton in a win, something that Coach Appert did not want to see happen again. And better defense. They blocked some shots. Kasdorf came up big when he needed to. And you look up on the scoreboard, 1 goal against. That is the Jason Kasdorf that we're used to seeing a couple years ago. He looks to be back in solid form. Rebounds, we talked about it earlier. Rebounds, the difference in this game. Finn, maybe not on his game per se. He's obviously, look at the numbers. He's had a solid season for this club. He's only a sophomore, Finn, but maybe not his best game. RPI taking advantage of the rebounds he was giving up.
Yeah, and you mentioned we saw the offense from RPI. We saw flashes of it, scoring 5 goals against Princeton last week. 6 goals in an offensive outburst back on Halloween against Union. So it's there. I mean, everybody talks about RPI lacks finishers, and it's there. They just got to do it consistently. You don't want to rely on the freshmen and sophomores today. The seniors getting all the goals, which is what RPI wanted throughout the season. So it's there for RPI. It's not quite there yet, but it's getting there, and it's peaking at the right time for the Engineers. And we mentioned a complete game, playing 60 minutes. Not only was it a complete game as far as that's concerned, but it was a complete game all around. Offensively, defensively, and special teams on the power play. Special teams was buzzing, penalty kill was buzzing, killed off all the penalties for Colgate that they had, hitting the post back on the third play there. Playing very physical and coming out and really out-hitting Colgate. The second period is probably a down period for RPI, as it has been, but they survived it. No goal was scored, and they just came out and took control in the third and put this game away.
Yeah, it's what you wanted to see. These home fans back here, back at home. Engineers get Cornell tomorrow, a team that we talked about earlier has been struggling just a bit. But they'll have to, of course, play to this level against this Cornell team, which is always well coached.
So I'm just listening to myself on the scoreboard. I don't really get to do it though, because it's all play-by-play. So I'm happy I'm getting to listen.
I've gotten used to it over the last couple of games. It is kind of nerve-wracking to hear yourself at the same time, but we won't dwell on that. RPI 4-1 win. I'll run down the scoring this game, and Ed will give us the offensive and defensive Engineers of the game.
So defensively, I'm going to give it to Jason Kasdorf. He was there when he had to be for RPI on a penalty kill. He was a good penalty killer for RPI. He was the main penalty killer. But overall, great defensive effort. I have to pick him out of the crowd, but I want to give mention to everybody. They played great, doing the things they have to do, blocking shots, getting their sticks in the passing lane. And my offensive engineer of the game, I'm going to give it to Matt Neal. 2 goals and an assist tonight. Really playing sound, really finding his groove for the Engineers. So pair of a senior for Matt Neal and Kasdorf, not a senior, but playing like one.
Run down the scoring for you. At 2:08 of the first period, Mark McGowan picking up his 3rd of the year from Luke Karate and Victor Liljegren. Then Colgate tied it up on a tally by Kevin Law, assist to Darcy Murphy and Mike Panowick. The goal number 2 in the season for Law. Then it was all the way to the 3rd period, 56 seconds of the 3rd. Matt Neal picking up the first of his 2 on the day, an assist to Milos Babella. Made it 2-1. Engineers added to their lead as Jacob Liberté picked up his 3rd of the year with assist to Neal at 3:21. Then an empty net goal, 19:31. Neal's second of the game and third of the year with assists to Victor Liljegren and Curtis Leonard.
So yeah, I also too wanted to mention, I didn't get a chance to mention, but I think RPI playing a difficult schedule. Yeah, you know, they have a non-conference record that I'm sure they're not proud of, but it helped prepare them going into the season. You know, Michigan, Denver, Miami, Colgate, Quinnipiac, Union. Of course, you don't know, you know, that all those teams are going to be ranked when you make the schedule, but RPI really playing a brutal schedule this year, and it has certainly helped them. Minnesota, Boston College, it certainly helped them with that and prepare them going into the ECAC League play. So, but that will do it. We're going to say a few thank yous and we'll get off the air. First, we'd like to thank DJ Scooter for getting us on the air and making sure we stayed out on the air for you to bring you the 4-1 RPI win. And we'd like to thank the Rensselaer Union, which provided the funding for WRPI, all club-related activities of the Institute, including WRPI's coverage of RPI men's and women's ice hockey, football, and baseball. We'd also like to remind you WRPI is on the World Wide Web. Point your browser to www.wrpi.org. And you can hear our broadcast 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. So long as WRPI is broadcasting, we will provide the broadcast on the internet feed. Once again, it is www.wrpi.org. We'd also like to remind you our next game for men's hockey and the WRPI sports broadcast will be tomorrow as the RPI Engineers take on the Cornell Big Red. And Cornell, at last glance, led Union 2-0, and now updated score, 5:08 left to play in the third. They have expanded that lead, so now it's 4-0 Cornell over Union. So Cornell may have a little jump in their step coming in here tomorrow, as well as RPI does too. Speaking of which, we'll run down the out-of-town scoreboard here for you before we get off the air. Merrimack leads Quinnipiac 4-3, 6:20 left to play in the third. St. Lawrence defeated Dartmouth 3-2. RPI 4-1 over Colgate. Cornell, as I mentioned, leads Union 4-0. Harvard 6-3 over Clarkson, and Yale leads Brown 1-0 in Providence. So again, besides for Harvard, the standing's going to get really bunched, especially with the RPI win and the Cornell leading Union. St. Lawrence up there, so really bunched 3 through 9, as we mentioned before. But we'll see how things shake out today and tomorrow, going into the final day of this ECAC hockey weekend. That will be tomorrow as the men's hockey team takes on the Cornell Big Red here at the Houston Fieldhouse. So that will do it here for us. For Perilous Garris, I'm Ed DeGarry, and the final score here from the Houston Fieldhouse was RPI 4, Colgate 1. You've been listening to live coverage of Engineer men's hockey at 91.5 FM, WRPI, Troy.